Chapter 3057. As expected of the successor of the great dragon. He can hold on for so long. The other three peak leaders discussed in low voices. Qing Wu curled her lips in dissatisfaction. That guy is really holding on. The North Beast's eyes shone with a cold light. Holding on doesn't mean that he can successfully comprehend it. However, it seems that the kid has a high chance of succeeding. Yu Linglong and Han Fei were also watching silently. If Lin Xian succeeded in comprehending it, then he would be a great enemy to them. Therefore, they had to see his success with their own eyes. Just like that, another day passed. Suddenly, Lin Xian's body trembled slightly. Large beads of sweat dripped from his forehead, and his face became abnormally pale. There was no trace of blood. "Oh no, that kid is in danger!" many people exclaimed. The first elder's heart instantly rose to his throat. The Full Moon Peak's peak leader took a deep breath. There were endless laws in his eyes. The great Tao surged under his feet. Obviously, he felt extremely indignant. Big brother Lin Xian. Xinjingqiu was extremely nervous. The dark rainbow divine dragon also screamed. "Impossible, that kid can't fail. This doesn't make sense. Is the result going to be out?" In the distance, the North Beast, Yu Linglong, Han Fei, and the others were watching nervously. Huangfu Beitie sighed when he saw this scene. He was very familiar with this scene. The last time he failed, it was the same situation that happened. Is Lin Xian going to fail too? Ha 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 ha, I knew that kid won't succeed. The black demon's lips curled into a cold smile. However, he was ecstatic in his heart. If the peak leader wasn't still here, he would have thrown his head back and laughed. Great, is he finally going to fail too? Humph, if I can't get it, no one else can. Everyone watched nervously. Lin Xian's body trembled. His face was pale, and he could lose at any time. However, he did not open his eyes or vomit blood. Just like that, his body trembled and he persisted for another 3 days. During these 3 days, the elders of the Full Moon Peak spent their days on tenterhooks. The others were also extremely nervous. The black demon was so angry that he vomited blood. Damn it, how did this happen? How could this brat still persist? The way he saw it, the other party was trembling and his face was pale. He was already on the verge of collapse and would be defeated very soon. However, the other party had persisted for 3 days. He hadn't come out yet. This scene was truly unbelievable to him. This guy's willpower was really formidable. Huangfu Beitian exclaimed. The North Beast, Yu Linglong, and Han Fei were also shocked. What they did not know was that Lin was currently experiencing a great battle, a battle of life and death. Amidst the chaotic nothingness, the black lotus blossomed with a demonic light that covered the sky and the earth. It completely enveloped Lin Xian and the tablet spirit. The monument spirit resisted with all its might. It had been sealed all these years, but it was still able to survive. At this moment, Black Lotus was exerting its power, and he could not exert much power. At the same time, it was very worried that Lin Xian was sealed here. If that was really the case, then his last hope would be gone. Fortunately, although Lin Xian was surrounded by layers of black lotuses, he was not sealed. There was an aura in the other party's body that blocked the black lotus. It could even destroy these black lotuses. The monument spirit knew that there was no time to lose. It had to impart its inheritance to the other party. Finally, it gathered all its power and shot out a ray of black light that entered Lin Xian's glabella. What I can give you is not a peerless cultivation technique, or a powerful bloodline, but an opportunity. An opportunity to comprehend heaven and earth. It is like a seed that has taken root and sprouted in your body. Now you can leave. Thank you, Senior. I will definitely comprehend it as soon as possible and become a sage. When that time comes, I will come back and destroy these black lotuses. No, come back after becoming a Dharch. At least a boundary Dharch. Otherwise, don't come here again. They will definitely be vigilant after letting you escape this time. In the future, you must be more careful on the ancient starry sky path. A boundary of the arch? I understand. Lin Xian nodded solemnly. Then, he felt a huge force pushing him out. Outside, everyone was waiting anxiously. The Full Moon Peak's Peak Master, the Grand Elder, and many other prodigies were all looking at Lin Xian. Lin Xian had been trembling for 3 days. Would he succeed? Or would he fail? It was the last moment. Buzz! Suddenly, Lin Xian's body stopped trembling. There was even a layer of hazy black light emitting from his body with a primordial aura that shocked everyone. Could it be? Everyone opened their mouths wide in disbelief. Many people held their breaths. Could it be that this kid succeeded? Impossible! Damn it, he can't succeed! The black demon roared in his heart. The Grand Elder, the Full Moon Peak's Peak Master, and the others were extremely excited. It seemed that this kid was about to wake up. Did he succeed? It was unlikely. After all, no one had been able to comprehend it for tens of thousands of years. Even if he was the successor of the Great Dragon, there was probably only a 10% chance. It was just that he would not be injured like Huangfu Beitian and the Black Demon. It seemed like that was indeed the case. The Full Moon Peak was really unlucky this time. No one could comprehend the full moon worthless steel. It was impossible for them to make a comeback. They would always be at the bottom of the 4 peaks. The people from the other 3 peaks sneered. Although they had failed, they were incomparably happy. Hearing this, the elders, prodigies, and powerhouses of the Full Moon Peak were disappointed. Even Lin Xian was going to fail? Then, was there really no hope for them? After all, Lin Xian was the successor of the Great Dragon of this generation. More importantly, as soon as he came to the Full Moon Lake, he caused the 9 heavy waves, exactly the same as Yi Guqing back then. Furthermore, he had only been in the Moon Palace for 2 hours, and he had already condensed the Moon's soul. This had already surpassed Yi Guqing. Even so, they could not comprehend the full moon worthless steel. They could not believe it. The Full Moon Peak's Peak Master had a solemn expression. The other 3 Peak Masters also sighed. They had also guessed why the full moon worthless steel was so difficult to comprehend. Although it was difficult in the past, there were also peerless geniuses who could comprehend it. However, in the past tens of thousands of years, no one could comprehend it. At that time, they had used all their means, and even the old mansion master had come. However, in the end, they could not completely discover the secret of the full moon worthless steel. However, the old mansion master said that there seemed to be some problems with the full moon worthless steel, but what exactly was the problem? Until now, these people still did not know. If Lin Xian was really defeated, it meant that the problem with the full moon worthless steel was getting worse and worse. From now on, no one would be able to comprehend it. And the full moon worthless steel would become a useless steel and no longer have any use. Just as everyone was in despair, mysterious runes suddenly surged out of Lin Xian's body. They were abnormally simple. Chapter 3058. However, it only existed for a moment before disappearing. But in the next moment, Lin Xian opened his eyes. The aura on his body erupted and shot into the sky. In his left eye, a golden moon appeared. It was extremely terrifying, and an incomparably terrifying moon's soul power emerged. As soon as this power appeared, everyone in the surroundings trembled. What a pure moon's soul power! Damn it, how could this kid's moon's soul be so powerful? He had only been here for a few months. Everyone went crazy, and those elders were also discussing. The first elder was stunned, and in the next moment, he became excited. The Full Moon Peak's Peak Master's eyes burst out with a piercing cold light. Around him, endless laws danced, transforming into the image of dragons and phoenixes. Could it be that the other party succeeded? Such a thought appeared in their minds. Because previously, when Huangfu Beitian and Heimo failed, their faces were pale and they vomited blood. But now, although Lin Xian opened his eyes, he was not injured at all. Not only that, but a mysterious aura and terrifying runes appeared on his body, as well as this powerful moon soul. This was definitely the scene of success. According to the records of the House of Prodigy, when Yi Guqing succeeded, it seemed to be the same scene. Could it be that this kid really succeeded? What? How is this possible? Exclamations and screams sounded one after another. This kid was going to defy the heavens. He was going to poke a hole in the sky. How many tens of thousands of years had he finally comprehended something that no one had comprehended? Was he still human? This kid could no longer be described with words. Everyone was stunned. At this moment, the first elder was excited, and the Peak Master laughed loudly. Yi Fei, Xueling, Wang Ji, and the others exclaimed. Huangfu Beitian was also stunned. Did he succeed? He did not expect Lin Xian to succeed. He Mo, who was at the side, directly spat out a mouthful of old blood and fainted. He fainted from anger because he had never expected that the other party would succeed. Did this guy really succeed? After tens of thousands of years, someone had comprehended the full moon were the steel. The other three Peak Masters were also extremely shocked. Although they were already sages, this matter still shocked them. Their hearts that had been calm for thousands of years were also surging. Ha 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 ha, that's great. There's finally hope for my Full Moon Peak. The Peak Master of Full Moon Peak also laughed heartily. The first elder and the other elders were trembling with excitement. Yi Fei, Xueling, Luya, and the others gathered around. Did you really comprehend the moongazer were the steel? What kind of miraculous cultivation technique was that? Can you describe it? Can you use it now? These people were chattering. The black demon had woken up and was also watching anxiously. He gritted his teeth and said, "Damned kid, I don't believe that you've really comprehended it." Lin Xian glanced at the black demon and said indifferently, "Of course, I comprehended it. You don't say, it's really magical. As for using it? Not now, this place is too small. When I have the chance, I will show it to you personally." Hearing Huang Xiaolong's words, Xueling, Yi Fei, and the rest were stunned. The corner of Huangfu Baitian's mouth twitched as he sighed. Black Demon was so angry that he spat out another mouthful of blood. In the end, he felt like he was going crazy. Who would have thought that this little fellow would actually be able to comprehend it? Congratulations! The other three Peak Masters came to congratulate the Full Moon Peak Master. The Full Moon Peak Master laughed. This was an unexpected surprise. Speaking of this, his eyes shone brightly. You guys have been living too comfortably for the past few years. This time, I will show you the strength of the Full Moon Peak. Hearing this, the Ethereal Peak Master laughed. Don't be too proud. Although this little fellow has obtained the qualifications, it won't be easy for him to comprehend it completely. As for the competition between the four peaks, it wouldn't be long before it began. It won't be easy for them to make a comeback then. Indeed, Lin Xian wouldn't be able to comprehend it in such a short period of time. Even Yi Guqing didn't manage to comprehend it completely. Otherwise, he wouldn't have died. However, while the Ethereal Peak didn't care, the Divine Strategy Peak felt the pressure. Lin Xian was too much of a freak and too strong. He might really be able to make it to the top in the competition between the four peaks. Although he might not be able to get first place, it wasn't impossible for him to get third place. This way, the Divine Strategy Peak would be at the bottom. The Divine Strategy Peak would never allow such a thing to happen. The Divine Strategy Peak Master's eyes flickered. The elders and Sky Prides clenched their fists. They had to go into seclusion during this period of time so that they could prepare for the upcoming battles and competitions. Hearing the words of the Peak Masters, the other Sky Pride's eyes lit up. Lin Xian raised his head and clenched his fists. The competition between the four peaks? That's good too. I can see how the geniuses of the other peaks are like. At the same time, his gaze pierced through the clouds and looked into the distance. At this moment, the Full Moon Peak was slowly closing and the Full Moon Wordless Monument was gradually disappearing into the shadows of the mountain. Don't worry, Senior. I will come back to save you one day, Lin Xian said in his heart. This was the agreement between him and the monument spirit. In the sky, the laws danced and the peak masters of the four peaks disappeared. The Grand Elder and the other elders also left. This was because they had to make preparations for the upcoming competition between the four peaks. Only the young sky prides and monsters were left in this world. Instantly, countless gazes fell on Lin Xian. There was envy and jealousy. It couldn't be helped. No one had managed to comprehend the full moon wordless monument for tens of thousands of years, but this guy had managed to do so. It really made people jealous to death. The black demon had fainted a few times from anger. Huangfu Beitian was also extremely envious. Even the northern monster, Yulinglong, and Han Fei had strange gazes. Had the other party's talent surpassed theirs? As peerless sky prides, they were unwilling to admit such a thing. Qing Wu was even more furious. She came in front of Lin Xian and said in a sweet voice, "You are so lucky to be able to comprehend the full moon wordless monument. Hurry up and show it to me. Let me see how powerful this legendary thing is." Hearing this, everyone's interest was piqued. That's right. The full moon wordless monument was so legendary. How powerful was it? None of them knew. The people from the other three peaks were the same. They also wanted to know how different the full moon wordless monument was compared to the sky monument of their peaks. The corners of Lin Xian's lips curled into a smile as he looked at the fuming little girl. He said indifferently, "This is a peerless divine ability. How can I let you see it so easily? This is my trump card. Moreover, this place is too small. Wait until the competition between the four peaks. At that time, you will see it in the competition arena." Hearing this, everyone exclaimed. Qing Wu was furious. "Damn it, don't be so arrogant. What are you so proud of? Even if you comprehend the full moon wordless monument, you can't beat my brother this time. Humph, let's wait and see." Chapter 3059. Is that so? Lin Xian shifted his gaze away from Qing Wu and looked into the distance at the tall and slender man with a demonic appearance. Is that the northern beast? It was his first time meeting him. The northern beast also looked down from the sky and met Lin Xian's gaze. Boom! Boom! The whole place began to shake vigorously. Above the 9 heavens, endless energy surged and the void cracked. Everyone felt suffocated. How powerful! Their gazes collided, and such power was actually released. Even Huangfu Beitian was shocked. Yulinglong and Han Fei also stared at Lin Xian. "Northern Beast, we finally meet," Lin Xian said with a smile. "I've heard of your reputation, but I didn't expect to meet you here." Indeed, the Northern Beast was as famous as Lin Xian, Yu Wudao, and the others a long time ago. He was known as one of the 5 heroes. However, he was too mysterious and had never appeared. Lin Xian didn't expect him to have joined the House of Prodigy. "I've also heard of your reputation. You stopped the Dark Chaos and killed many Archean paragons. You're also known as the Middle Emperor," the Northern Beast said loudly. Lin Xian looked at the other 2 figures in the sky. One of them was a woman and the other was a young man. Their auras were very strong and they seemed to be the strongest of Linglong Peak and Divine Strategy Peak. However, he frowned slightly. Why was there one person missing? He looked at the Northern Beast again and asked curiously, "Where was Yen Nantian?" Yen Nantian, the male emperor, was as famous as him. How could he not come to such a scene? Yen Nantian had already left Ethereal Peak and stepped on the ancient path of the starry sky. He had left in advance. Hearing this, Lin Xian was stunned. He didn't expect Yen Nantian to leave. However, it made sense. Yen Nantian had obtained the inheritance of the great emperor, and must know some secrets of the ancient path of the starry sky. He would be a peerless enemy on the ancient path of the starry sky in the future. At the same time, Lin Xian wondered how Qingqing was doing. There was also Leaf Daodenir, as well as a few other top-tier geniuses. Among the human race, there were quite a number of top geniuses who did not join the House of Prodigy. Instead, they took other paths to reach the ancient road to the starry sky. Taking a deep breath, Lin Xian didn't want to think about it anymore. Next, he began to prepare with all his might for the competition between the 4 peaks. Becoming a great emperor and reaching the peak had always been his dream. Moreover, he felt the pressure. He once again saw the mysterious Black Lotus. Back then, Yi Guqing had also comprehended the moongazer wordless steel. However, he was still killed on the starry sky ancient path. He was afraid that those mysterious enemies would continue to deal with him. Therefore, he had to improve his strength. Otherwise, let alone becoming a great emperor, it was very likely that he would be killed on the ancient path. After that, everyone left. There were only a few months left before the competition between the 4 peaks. These people wanted to make the final breakthrough. Obtaining a good ranking in the competition of the 4 great peaks would allow one to receive a reward from the House of Prodigies. The reward was even more generous than the reward given to each mountain. Everyone was tempted. Even the North Demon and the others were preparing with all their might. This time, the participants of the competition were the top 10 of each mountain. Lin Xian had obtained 2nd place last time, so he was naturally qualified. The North Demon, Huang Fu Beitian, and the other top prodigies had already begun to cultivate in seclusion. Lin Xian didn't cultivate in seclusion because he had just obtained the enlightenment seed from the moongazer wordless steel. Naturally, he wanted to comprehend heaven and earth. Lin Xian had long been able to use the power of heaven and earth. With a raise of his hand, he could mobilize endless spirit qi and transform it into all kinds of divine abilities. This kind of power seemed very powerful, but Lin Xian now knew that this was only the power on the surface. He hadn't comprehended the most fundamental power at all. Because he knew that the fundamental power was the laws. It was Tao. Once comprehended, one would surpass the king level and become a saint. As for the laws, there were many. The laws of wind, the laws of clouds, the laws of water, the laws of fire, and all sorts of other powers contained laws. The more laws one comprehended, the stronger one's strength would be. Of course, with the current state of Lin Xian and the others, they definitely wouldn't be able to comprehend a single law. Not to mention one, they wouldn't be able to comprehend a single one. That was exclusive to saints. Why were the runes carved by saints more powerful than the runes they obtained? Because the runes carved by saints all contained the comprehension of heaven and earth. That was Tao, something that was naturally incomparably powerful. Lin Xian now had the enlightenment seed, so he knew more. Of course, he knew that even if he had the seed, it was impossible for him to instantly comprehend the laws. Unless he had the legendary Tao physique. Although he was powerful, he didn't have such a physique, so he had to take his time to comprehend. First, he had to condense a few runes that belonged to him according to his comprehension of heaven and earth, and then slowly improve. Even so, he believed his speed was still a lot faster than most of the top geniuses and geniuses. After all, the seeds left behind by the moongazer wordless steel were very useful. Lin Xian now felt that there were many differences between heaven and earth. More importantly, because his moon spirit was condensed in his left eye, Lin Xian might as well plant the moongazer seed in his left eye. At this moment, he used the heavenly secret god eyes, coupled with the effect of the moongazer seed. Lin Xian felt that the entire world had changed. Between heaven and earth, there were even mysterious runes that appeared. This was something that he couldn't see at all before. This was Tao runes! Lin Xian exclaimed. Lin Xian had been sitting cross-legged in his courtyard, motionless like a rock. Just like that, 2 months passed. During this period, Xinjingqiu came once and was shocked. She thought that Lin Xian had some problems with his cultivation, but after the Crimson Dragon explained, Xinjingqiu heaved a sigh of relief and left the courtyard. She was also going into seclusion. This little girl was also very extraordinary. With her spirit body, she fought her way into the top 10 of the Linglong Valley and would also participate in the next competition. Not long after Xinjingqiu left, Lin Xian's eyes suddenly burst with a cold light. With a wave of his arm, he drew a line on the ground. Although there was only one line that looked like a sword mark, the Crimson Dragon was shocked. Because, from it, he felt an inexplicable aura. This kid was really comprehending heaven and earth. No, Benwang also had to comprehend the great magical power of the Dragon Clan. In the Crimson Dragon's memory, there was the inheritance of the Dragon Clan. Therefore, he also began to cultivate in seclusion. Just as Lin Xian and others were cultivating in seclusion, something happened in the Extraordinary Scholar's Mansion. The Extraordinary Scholar's Mansion was a place that led to the ancient starry sky path in the true spirit world. In the myriad worlds, there were many existences like Xiao Huifu, but there were differences in strength. And the closest star to the true spirit world, the heavenly cloud mansion on the hero planet, came. In the true spirit world, most people didn't know about the existence of the myriad worlds, but the people in the Extraordinary Scholar's Mansion knew. Chapter 3060. Especially the hero star, because it was relatively close to the true spirit world, it had been here more than once. Of course, the other party didn't come as a guest, but as a provocation. Whether it was the Extraordinary Warrior Mansion or the Heavenly Cloud Mansion, they would eventually embark on the ancient Star Road to compete for the title of Great Emperor. Therefore, between the two sides, there was naturally competition. When there was competition, there would naturally be fighting. Logically speaking, the true spirit world was called the Source Star, which was a very special star in the starry sky universe. It should be famous in all the worlds, and those worlds should be in awe. However, this wasn't the case. Because the true spirit world hadn't had a great emperor for many years. Moreover, its strength and influence had gradually weakened. It was far inferior to the legendary buried Emperor Star. In the end, because too many powerhouses had left, the strength of the true spirit world had become ordinary. Therefore, even an existence like the Hero Star could come and challenge. Of course, under normal circumstances, the Hero Star couldn't beat the Extraordinary Warrior Mansion. However, this time, the Hero Star had a few new geniuses, so it couldn't wait to come and show off. For this kind of provocation, these geniuses of the Extraordinary Warrior Mansion were used to it. Therefore, not many people paid attention to it. However, a few days later, the results of the battle made these people's faces change drastically. What? Our House of Prodigy actually lost? Damn it, how is this possible? Although the Heavenly Cloud Mansion has always been arrogant, it is still no match for our Extraordinary Warrior Mansion. This time, how could the other party possibly win? You don't know? Nonsense, I didn't watch that kind of battle at all. How could I know? Hurry up and tell us what happened. Many people were anxious. Some of the geniuses who went to watch the battle said, "You don't know how lucky the Heavenly Cloud Mansion is this time." Several geniuses came. Moreover, what's more abominable is that they are all newcomers. They are very strong, and we didn't guard against them. Therefore, we were defeated one after another. Now, the people of the Heavenly Cloud Mansion are arrogant there. What? How dare they be arrogant in our territory? How hateful! Let's go and meet them. Many people gritted their teeth in anger. However, after half a day, these people came back with their tails between their legs. Even more shocking news came. The Extraordinary Warrior Mansion lost again, and it was a series of crushing defeats. Apart from Qing Wu's victory and Zhong Lingxiu's victory on the Full Moon Peak, they had lost all the other battles. The people of the Heavenly Clouds Mansion mocked him. Were there only women left in the Extraordinary Warrior Mansion? Where did all those men go? Damn it! Why are these people from the Heavenly Clouds Mansion so arrogant? If it weren't for the fact that the Northern Yao, Yu Linglong, and Han Fei were in seclusion, would these people have the right to be so arrogant? That's right, Huangfu Beitian, the Black Demon, and the others are also in seclusion. Even Yi Fei, Xue Ling, Wang Qi, and the others went into seclusion. This was because they had to prepare for the upcoming competition. If these Sky Prides were not in seclusion, any one of them would be able to defeat them. Why do I feel like they're doing this on purpose? They know that most of us are in seclusion at this time, so they're here to provoke us? Damn it! The Heavenly Clouds Mansion is too despicable. Many people gritted their teeth. Fortunately, Qing Wu and Zhong Lingxiu were here. The two of them were enough to withstand this situation. That won't do. Didn't they say that we only have women left? We must find a few men to suppress them. Otherwise, if this news spreads to the ancient path of the stars, the disciples of the extraordinary warrior mansion won't be able to show their faces in the future. Many people gritted their teeth and contacted the sky prides of their respective peaks. Although the competition between the 4 peaks was very fierce, it was also an internal matter of the extraordinary warrior mansion. Although they were from different peaks, they were all geniuses of the extraordinary warrior mansion. Now that the people of the Heavenly Clouds mansion were here, they naturally had to unite against them. Oh no, they're all in seclusion. Moreover, we can't send any messages at all. Yes, the powerful ones are in seclusion, and those who aren't in seclusion can't defeat those people. What should we do? How many people haven't been found? Lin Xian hasn't been found yet. Let's go and have a look. Everyone went to the manor where Lin Xian was. They didn't have much hope because in their opinion, Lin Xian might have been in seclusion, and they couldn't even send any messages. However, when they arrived nearby, they were all stunned. Was the person sitting cross-legged below Lin Xian? Yes, it's him. Is he in seclusion? No, why would he be in seclusion in such a place? Is it easy to be disturbed? That was indeed the case. Although there was an array around, it was still too dangerous, so everyone was very puzzled. At this moment, the Crimson Dragon flew out. What do you want? His face was filled with hostility. After all, Lin Xian was cultivating now, and no one was allowed to disturb him. Seeing the Crimson Dragon come out, these people were shocked. However, they still recounted what had happened outside to him. Hearing this, the Crimson Dragon frowned. You mean people from other stellar realms came to provoke us? Damn, they're really arrogant. I really want to roast them and eat them. We're here to find Lin Xian and see if he can help us. I don't think he can do it. How about I do it for you? Ben Huang's fee is not high. I'll help you if you give me a half-step sacred artifact. What? These sky prides were so angry that they vomited blood. A half-step sacred artifact each? You're too greedy. This dragon is too unreliable. That's right, we better find Lin Xian. Everyone hurriedly shook their heads and looked down again. Damn, Ben Wang has already given you a discount. If anyone else asked me to do it, I'd ask for a sacred artifact. Hearing this, the faces of the surrounding sky prides became even darker. This is definitely a greedy dragon. Below, Lin Xian raised his head and looked at the sky, his eyes shining. His seclusion was very different. He had been using the heavenly secret divine eyes and the plenilen sea to observe the entire world. Therefore, when those people came, he knew immediately. When he heard the reason for these people's arrival, he frowned slightly. Originally, he didn't want to do it. After all, he was comprehending heaven and earth. However, when he heard the words Heavenly Cloud Mansion, his eyebrows twitched. Previously in the ruins, Lin Xian had a conflict with a group of people. At that time, that group of people seemed to be from Heavenly Cloud Mansion. Therefore, Lin Xian was a little tempted. Well, let me see what kind of existence Heavenly Cloud Mansion is. Lin Xian decided to do it. He stood up, waved his hand, and removed the array around him, and said loudly, Needless to say, I can do it. Boy, are you going? The Crimson Dragon was surprised. When the people in the distance heard this, they were first stunned, then they cheered. Is Lin Xian going to do it? Chapter 3061. Oh God, he's really going to make a move. Great, with Lin Xian's help, those people from Heavenly Cloud Mansion would definitely die. These people were really overjoyed. In the past few days they had been defeated, which made them feel very sullen. Now, they could finally turn the tables around and hold their heads high. Lead the way, Lin Xian said lightly. After hearing this, the sky prides in the distance were extremely excited and quickly led the way. When the Crimson Dragon saw this scene, he sighed, but then, he also became excited. Looks like there's going to be some fun to watch. He also followed behind Lin Xian, and the group set off into the distance. Many people gathered on the huge and magnificent square of the extraordinary warrior mansion. Most of these people were sky prides from the extraordinary warrior mansion. At this moment, their expressions were abnormally gloomy, and many of them even had a ferocious and murderous look on their faces. In a corner of the square, there was also a group of people standing there. These people were also outstanding and had a strong aura. However, the rune marks on their clothes were obviously different from those of the extraordinary warrior mansion. They should be from Heavenly Cloud Mansion. In the arena, two figures were fighting, and one of the sky prides from Full Moon Peak was from the extraordinary warrior mansion. It was Yusong. Yusong danced with a long spear, emitting a biting cold light, and charged forward. His opponent was a young man in a white robe, holding a folding fan in his hand. The folding fan was like a dragon flying and a phoenix dancing on it. At this moment, when he saw the purple long spear coming at him, he sneered and waved the folding fan in front of him lightly. An amazing scene appeared. This time, it directly hit the purple long spear, and a beam of dazzling light burst out. It was extremely terrifying. The purple long spear was directly shaken off. Then, Yusong was kicked and his body flew out upside down. Lost again. Even Yusong lost? The faces of the people from the extraordinary warrior mansion were extremely ugly. Damn it, I don't believe it! Who the hell is that guy? What's so magical about the folding fan in his hand? Yusong was an expert from Full Moon Peak. Although he wasn't ranked in the top 10, he was still extremely terrifying. They didn't expect him to be defeated so quickly. The faces of the people from the extraordinary warrior mansion were extremely ugly. On the other side, the Heavenly Clouds Mansion's people burst into laughter. Ha ha! Another one of them had been defeated. How many had he lost? Brother Xian Yun is truly amazing. Of course, Brother Xian Yun was a peerless genius. How could a mere extraordinary scholar manner possibly have someone who could defeat him? Let the two women come out. But unfortunately, they were no match for Brother Xian Yun. The House of Prodigy was truly pitiful. They had actually fallen to the point where a woman had to stand up for herself. What origin planet? I reckon that this is only a legend. If you truly take yourself seriously, you simply are not our hero star's opponent. The people from the Heavenly Clouds Mansion were extremely arrogant. Hearing this, the extraordinary warrior manor was so angry that they wanted to vomit blood. Many people went crazy. Damn it, let's fight. F***CK, don't be impulsive. We've already lost more than 10 rounds. If we continue to lose, we'll be completely disgraced. Indeed, he could not be impulsive. Let's wait a little longer, and see if anyone else is coming. Io, what's wrong? You don't dare to come up? No way, he doesn't even have the courage to make a move? Not only are you weak in strength, but your courage is also lacking. I advise you to obediently go home and farm. Don't go to the Starry Sky Road. You'll only be cannon fodder if you go there. The Heavenly Clouds Mansion became even more arrogant. In front of them, the man called Xian Yun was waving a folding fan in his hand. His face was cold and arrogant, as if he didn't put anyone in his eyes. Damn it, I'll go! Qing Wu was furious when she saw this scene. Previously, she had won 2 rounds. But after she joined the battle, the extraordinary warrior manor's side lost one after another. Especially when Xian Yun came up, no one could defeat him. Now, the other party was so arrogant in the territory of the extraordinary warrior manor. She really couldn't stand it anymore. The surrounding people also couldn't stand it anymore. Seeing that Qing Wu was about to come out again, the people from the Heavenly Clouds Mansion immediately sneered. What, are you really going to let a woman stand up for you? Are all the men in the extraordinary warrior manor dead? It seems that the extraordinary warrior manor of your generation is really trash. Those people sneered. Xian Yun looked forward. When he saw Qing Wu, his eyes suddenly lit up and the corner of his mouth raised into a smile. What a beautiful girl. You want to fight with me? Sure. But I wonder if you can make a bet with me. What do you want to fight? Qing Wu snorted coldly. Xian Yun waved his folding fan and said with a smile. If I win, how about you be my woman? As soon as these words came out, the people from the heavenly clouds mansion burst into laughter. Yes, 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 brother Xian Yun is good. Little girl, our brother Xian Yun is a peerless genius, the future hope of the heavenly clouds mansion. It's not a loss for you to be his woman. Not only is it not a loss, you're in luck. Hurry up and agree. This extraordinary scholar manner really suffered a double loss after trying to lure the bride. Damn it, what did he say? How dare he have designs on Qing Wu? The eyes of the sky prides from the extraordinary warrior manner turned red. Xian Yun had defeated and humiliated them, and now he wanted to snatch their number one beauty. Damn it, let's fight it out. Yu Song, Situ Xiaotian, and the others gritted their teeth with a ferocious expression. The sky prides from the other peaks also had red eyes. Qing Wu's face was cold as she trembled in anger. How dare this despicable guy have designs on her? Who does he think he is? How dare he have designs on her? Sure enough, the sky prides from the ethereal peak snorted. Do you want to die? Qing Wu is the northern demon's sister. If you dare to talk nonsense again, the northern demon will kill all of you when he comes out. Hearing this, the people from the heavenly clouds mansion were stunned. They had heard of the northern demon's name before. He was Di from the extraordinary warrior manor. Xian Yun narrowed his eyes. Northern demon's sister? That's even better. Be my woman and I'll spare your brother's life in the future. Otherwise, I'll kill your brother on my way to becoming a great emperor. After saying that, a terrifying light bloomed from his body and shot up into the sky. Despicable guy! I'm going to tear your mouth apart. Qing Wu was furious. How dare this guy look down on her brother? She couldn't stand it. In the next moment, she came to the front. Her delicate face was filled with coldness. With a shout, her body shone brightly and the whole world was illuminated by her. Qing Wu was going to make her move. The people from the extraordinary warrior manor held their breath. On the other hand, the people from the heavenly clouds mansion were also watching nervously. Although they were talking nonsense, they didn't dare to be careless. After all, Qing Wu had easily defeated their geniuses in the previous few battles. Not only was she a peerless beauty, but she was also a powerful sky pride. Buzz! With a shout, she waved her jade-like hand and the light in the sky turned into a giant dragon. It roared and tore forward. This move was extremely terrifying. Chapter 3062. Humph! When Xian Yun saw this scene, he snorted coldly. The aura on his body also became fierce, and his entire body erupted with an earth-shattering power. Buzz! He waved the folding fan in his hand and fiercely smashed it on the giant dragon phantom in the sky. With a loud bang, the sound shook the sky, and the entire world shook. The giant dragon phantom was sent flying, turning into countless spirit chi and dissipating in the sky. You're not bad, but you're still not my match. So, obediently become my woman. Xian Yun sneered. What? He blocked it. He actually managed to block this attack? Damn it, how can he be so strong? The people on the side of the extraordinary warrior manor felt their hearts rise again. Previously, when Qing Wu attacked, she could easily defeat her opponent, but now it seemed that Qing Wu had encountered a difficult opponent. This guy's fan is so strange. Qing Wu also frowned. She could naturally see that the folding fan in the other party's hand was very unusual, and had a mysterious power. Don't be arrogant, I didn't use my full strength just now. Qing Wu snorted coldly, and the aura on her body erupted again. On the opposite side, Xian Yun's face darkened. Little girl, it seems that if I don't show you my true strength, you won't know how powerful I am. Fine, I'll let you experience it. The folding fan in his hand emitted a mysterious light. Runes revolved around it, and a violent energy erupted from it. As the fan waved, a violent wind blew between heaven and earth, as if it was an astral wind outside the realm. The geniuses in the distance all changed, and their faces turned ugly. What kind of fan is this? This storm is too strong. Invincible kings can't block it at all. Sure enough, Qing Wu also suffered the impact of this violent wind. She snorted and spat out a shield, which circled around her and turned into 18 light shadows. In just an instant, the shield and the 18 light shadows were blown away, and Qing Wu also suffered a strong wind blade attack. What kind of storm is this? Qing Wu didn't dare to be careless at all. She maintained her king's domain and kept retreating. The king's domain fought against the storm that filled the sky, and a deafening sound rang out. Qing Wu's qi and blood surged as she retreated far away. Ha 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 ha, little beauty, did you see that? I only used a trace of my true strength, and you can't withstand it. So, you're not my match at all. Be obedient and become my woman. I will let you enjoy endless glory. After following me, you will be the happiest woman in the world, Xianyan said proudly. Bah! Qing Wu was so angry that her face turned black and her whole body trembled. How could there be such a shameless person? Why was he even more despicable than that Lin brat? Damned guy, don't underestimate me. I'll let you taste my ultimate move. Mysterious bloodlines appeared on her body. Clearly, he had activated his bloodline power. His palms formed a seal, and a resonant sound rang out from all directions. Light flickered below, and blood-red runes soared into the air, turning into 81 saber shadows that instantly enveloped the entire square. 81 giant beasts soared into the sky. Each of them was like a primordial beast. Although they were phantoms, they emitted an incomparably terrifying aura. The northern demons had the body of 10,000 demons. Qing Wu was the north demon's little sister. Although she did not have the 10,000 demon body, her bloodline power was still extremely terrifying. Now that he had erupted, he was truly ridiculously strong. Bloodline power? If you are your brother, then I will turn around and leave. But is it you? You are still far from it. Xianyan sneered. The fan in his hand also erupted with terrifying fluctuations, and a ball of resplendent light shone from above. That aura made all the surrounding monstrous geniuses tremble. It was too terrifying. There was definitely something wrong with that fan. Damn it, could it be a sacred artifact? Impossible. No matter how strong he was, he could not move a sacred artifact. Then it must be a half-step sacred artifact. Moreover, it was very likely to be a half-step sacred artifact personally refined by a sage. Otherwise, it would not be so terrifying. Boom, boom, boom. The surrounding 81 phantoms emitted a terrifying light, blocking the strange fan. A bloodline secret technique versus a super powerful half-step sacred artifact. The moment these two attacks erupted, the entire world was instantly annihilated. Not good, retreat quickly. Everyone screamed in fright and retreated frantically. On the square of the extraordinary warrior's residence, formations also erupted, enveloping heaven and earth. This place was not simple. No matter how powerful these people's abilities were, they could not destroy it. Everyone retreated to the area enveloped by the formations and watched in fear. There was a sea of light in front of them, and they could not see clearly at all. They could only hear earth-shattering collisions. Would Qing Wu win? They did not know. That guy's fan was too terrifying. They did not know if Qing Wu's bloodline power could withstand it. Yes, Qing Wu was still too young. If it was her brother, the North Demon, he would be able to defeat him easily without using his bloodline power. On the other side, the eyes of the people of the Heavenly Cloud Mansion flickered. Many of them were worried. Because the power that Qing Wu displayed was indeed very powerful. However, at this time, a blue-clothed man said coldly, "Don't worry, the swan fan in Xianyan's hand is not simple. He will not be defeated. Unless the top geniuses of the Heavenly Cloud Mansion take action." Hearing this, the people of the Heavenly Cloud Mansion laughed because they knew that the top geniuses of the Heavenly Cloud Mansion were all in seclusion. It was impossible for them to come out now. In front of them, the fierce collisions did not last long. The phantoms of demonic beasts roared crazily, and then a dozen of them collapsed. A figure was also sent flying out. Qing Wu's face was extremely pale, and there was even a trace of blood at the corner of her mouth. Not good, Qing Wu was injured. The people of the extraordinary warrior mansion screamed crazily, while the people of the heavenly cloud mansion laughed. It was just as they had expected. As I said, you're no match for me. Xian Yun walked out and stretched out his hand, locking on to Qing Wu. Qing Wu's face became extremely pale. If she was caught by him, she would lose for sure. Buzz! Her eyes were bloodshot. She formed a seal with her palms and was about to cast a powerful secret technique. Although it was difficult for her to cast it with her current strength, and it was even very dangerous, she could no longer hold back. However, as soon as she moved, a terrifying aura spread out in the sky. It instantly turned into a dazzling light and fell from the sky. With a clang, it pierced through Xian Yun's big hand. The spiritual energy palm that was formed by Xian Yun was instantly turned into ashes. Not only that, but the light also charged towards Xian Yun. Xian Yun's face changed. He waved the swan fan in his hand, creating a terrifying storm to block the light. At the same time, he retreated. His face was gloomy, and his eyes were emitting a cold light. Who is it? How dare you stop me? On the other side, Qing Wu heaved a sigh of relief. She was saved. She was surprised. Who was it? Who could force Xian Yun to retreat? She had experienced how terrifying the other party was. Now there was someone who could force Xian Yun to retreat with a light. This was absolutely incredible. Could it be that her brother had come out? No, she was familiar with her brother's aura. It was not her brother. Then who was it? Yuling Long? Han Fei? Or Huangfu Beitian? She did not know. Chapter 3063. Not only her, but the people of the extraordinary warrior mansion were also shocked. The people of the heavenly cloud mansion were also shocked. For a moment, countless eyes looked towards the sky. A red-robed young man was standing in the sky like an immortal. It's him! Who is this kid? Both sides exclaimed. The people of the extraordinary warrior mansion exclaimed in excitement. The people of the heavenly cloud mansion had a strange look on their faces. It wasn't the North Beast, Yuling Long, Han Fei, or Huangfu Beitian. Who is he? They had never seen him before. They knew the strongest person of the Four Peaks. But now, the kid in front of them looked unfamiliar. Who are you? How dare you attack me? Xian Yun also looked at the sky. His voice was filled with killing intent. If it wasn't for the sneak attack just now, he would have defeated Qing Wu and even made her his woman. He didn't expect that someone would interrupt such a good thing. It was unforgivable. Who are you? The red-robed young man was naturally Lin Xian. He rushed here from the courtyard and saw Qing Wu injured, and the other party was so strong. Therefore, he struck out a sword chi and forced the other party to retreat. How dare you talk to Brother Xian Yun like that? Behind him, the sky prides of the heavenly cloud mansion also walked up and glared at him. One of them said coldly, "Let me tell you, this is the peerless genius of the heavenly cloud mansion. When you see him, you have to call him Lord Xian Yun." These people of the heavenly cloud mansion were very arrogant. Xian Yun? Lin Xian narrowed his eyes after hearing that. I've never heard of him. How talented is he? Humph, kid, what do you know? Let me tell you, Brother Xian Yun is less than 100 years old and his strength has reached more than 60,000 archaic power. It's not a problem for him to defeat all of you. Isn't such a person considered a genius? That's right, your extraordinary warrior mansion can't defeat Brother Xian Yun at all. It's the same no matter how many of you come. Kid, you're dead for interfering in Brother Xian Yun's matter. Hearing that, the people of the extraordinary warrior mansion fell silent. Indeed, Xian Yun was very talented and powerful. He could indeed defeat them. Lin Xian looked at Xian Yun after hearing that. So, you're quite talented. But have you ever heard of the phrase dying young? You dare to behave atrociously in the territory of the House of Prodigy? Do you believe that I will slaughter you? As soon as these words were spoken, the geniuses from the outstanding scholar manor could feel their lips twitching as their eyes widened. In the next moment, They became excited as if they had been injected with chicken blood. The people from the Heavenly Clouds mansion were stunned. They couldn't believe that he had died young. The other party dared to threaten them. Xian Yun's face sank, and his body trembled with rage. No one had ever dared to threaten him like this. Brat, who the hell are you? Me? I'm just a newbie. I just joined the House of Prodigy not long ago. Why don't I exchange a few moves with you? What? A newbie? The people from the Heavenly Clouds mansion were even more dumbfounded. Since when were newcomers so arrogant? A mere newbie also dares to exchange blows with our brother Xian Yun? He really didn't know what death was. Brat, you are too arrogant. Dying young? Do you have the qualifications? Unless you're Northern Beast, you Ling Long, and the others come out, no one can beat our brother Xian Yun. These people once again became arrogant. They knew that the Northern Beast and the others couldn't come out for the time being, so they were so arrogant. On the other hand, the people from the House of Prodigy had a strange look on their faces. Lin Xian was indeed a newbie. However, Lin Xian was not an ordinary newbie. As soon as he arrived, he caused the 9 heavy waves, defeated the Hamo, and won the second place of the Full Moon Peak. Not long ago, he had successfully comprehended the full moon were the steel. This was something that the geniuses of tens of thousands of years couldn't do. However, Lin Xian did it one by one. How could such a person be an ordinary newbie? Damn, the people from the Heavenly Clouds mansion were still so arrogant? Thinking of this, the people from the House of Prodigy became excited. This Lin Xian was too evil. Yes, he was so strong, but he didn't say anything about it. Xian Yun sounded like a genius, but compared to Lin Xian, he was far from it. Far from it, there was no comparison at all. Lin Xian's talent was simply heaven-defying. Did you think that anyone could comprehend the full moon were the steel? For tens of thousands of years, how many geniuses had failed? This kid was definitely a monster. Ha 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 ha, why do I feel that the people from the Heavenly Clouds mansion are going to be unlucky? That's for sure. Offending Lin Xian, they would definitely end up in a miserable state. Especially that Xian Yun. Just wait, he will definitely regret it. Haha, I'm really looking forward to Lin Xian's fight. I wonder how much his strength has improved in the past few months. This guy is really insidious. Qing Wu also curled her lips. However, he had just saved her, so she didn't want to argue with him. On the opposite side, the people from the Heavenly Clouds mansion sneered and continued to clamor. Newbie? Get lost. Your geniuses can't even beat him, and you want to fight with our brother Xian Yun? Xian Yun's face also darkened. Ignorant and get lost. Someone like you is not worthy of my fight. Is that so? Lin Xian descended from the sky and said slowly. How about this, let's make a bet. What do you want to bet? Xian Yun frowned and asked. He wasn't very interested. Lin Xian smiled and said, Let's fight. If you win, this woman will become your woman. While speaking, Lin Xian pointed at Qing Wu. Qing Wu's eyes widened, and her body trembled with anger. This guy dared to use her as a wager? He's really too hateful. Originally, she had a good impression of Lin Xian because he saved her, but now it was all gone. She bared her fangs and brandished her claws, wanting to pounce over and bite this guy to death. The people from the Extraordinary Warrior Mansion were also stunned. Is Lin Xian going to make such a big bet? Won't it be a little dangerous? It seems that Lin Xian is very confident. Don't worry, we just need to watch the show. However, how come Qing Wu's complexion doesn't look very good? The people from the Heavenly Clouds mansion were even more stunned. Xian Yun's mouth raised into a smile. Are you serious? He looked at Lin Xian, and at the same time stared at Qing Wu. Qing Wu's eyes were cold, and she was about to explode. But she was stopped by Lin Xian. Lin Xian said, Of course, my Extraordinary Warrior Mansion has always been a man of his words. Alright, I'll compete with you. Killing an ant is very simple. Xian Yun revealed a sinister smile. In his opinion, it was just a matter of raising his hand to kill the other party. At the same time, he didn't think that the light just now was shot out by the other party. Maybe it was a hidden elder of the extraordinary warrior mansion. Damn it. This group of old guys really don't follow the rules. They agreed so quickly? Lin Xian was surprised. Why don't you listen to what will happen if you lose? There's no need to listen, just name your conditions. Because I won't sell it. Xian Yun waved his hand confidently. Chapter 3064. Great. Lin Xian smiled. Before he could speak, Qing Wu, who was next to him, stood out and said angrily, "If you lose, kneel down and count out to me 3 times. At the same time, apologize to everyone in the House of Outstanding Scholars." This girl. Lin Xian shook his head. He hadn't said the conditions yet, but the other party had already said it. But it was good, the conditions sounded good. Kowtow and apologize. For a genius, this was worse than killing him. However, the people of the House of Outstanding Scholars were extremely excited. Because the people of the Heavenly Cloud Mansion were too arrogant. Not only did they come to humiliate them, saying that there were no men in the House of Outstanding Scholars, they even wanted to take Qing Wu as their concubine. Every single one of these things made them gnash their teeth in anger. Now that Qing Wu proposed such a condition, they were naturally happy. Yes, they wanted the other party to kowtow and apologize. Hearing this bet, the people of the Heavenly Cloud Mansion frowned. It would be fine if they won, but what if they lost? What were they thinking? How could Brother Xian Yun lose? The other party was just a newcomer, not a peerless expert like the North Demon or Yu Linglong. Indeed, if the North Demon made such a bet, Xian Yun would have left immediately. But how could a newcomer who had just entered the House of Outstanding Scholars have any strength? He probably hadn't even seen a big scene. Did he think that he was still a genius outside? Did he think that he could be arrogant in front of the Heavenly Cloud Mansion? The difference was too big. Therefore, Xian Yun agreed without hesitation. The people of the Heavenly Cloud Mansion didn't stop him. In their opinion, this was a battle without any suspense. They estimated that Xian Yun could defeat the other party in one move. They didn't know why the people of the House of Outstanding Scholars agreed to it. Why did they let this kid stand out? Could it be that these people of the House of Outstanding Scholars had lost their minds because of too many failures? Who cares? Anyway, Qing Wu will be Brother Xian Yun's woman in the future. Kid, in that case, don't blame me for being rude. Xian Yun sneered. With a wave of his fan, a terrible storm suddenly covered the sky and the earth, as if it had crossed time and space, and rushed in front of Lin Xian. With a loud boom, a terrifying power erupted and engulfed Lin Xian in an instant. Boundless turbulence swept in all directions, obliterating everything. Not good. Seeing this scene, the eyelids of the experts from the Outstanding Warrior Mansion twitched violently. Damn it, this Xian Yun was really cautious, to actually execute that strange fan right from the start. From their point of view, Xian Yun might have been careless and allowed Lin Xian to launch a sneak attack. That's better. However, he didn't expect the other party to be so cautious. He wondered if Lin Xian would be able to withstand it. It shouldn't be a problem. His strength was super strong. After all, he could even defeat Hei Mo. The people from the House of Prodigy also calmed down a little. However, the horrifying scene in front of them still made their eyelids twitch wildly. The most nervous one was Qing Wu. Her small hands were white, and she was gnashing her teeth. Damned guy, you have to hold on for me. He wanted to defeat his opponent. Otherwise, I won't forgive you for the rest of my life. Indeed, Lin Xian had used her as collateral to bet with the other party. If he lost, Lin Xian would not lose anything, but she would be different. Alright, this battle is over. Little girl, become my woman and come with me. After that blow, Xian Yun no longer paid attention to Lin Xian. In his opinion, the other party would definitely not be able to withstand this blow. Perhaps, he would be directly blasted into pieces. He walked towards Qing Wu. Ha 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 ha, this is too funny. Originally, I thought that this kid dared to stand out because he was a powerful character. I didn't expect that he couldn't even withstand a single blow. That was natural. What kind of power could a newcomer have? He was probably used to being called a genius outside. How dare he stand out in front of the house of prodigy, and our Heavenly Clouds mansion? He was really reckless. The people from Heavenly Clouds mansion disdained him. The people from the house of prodigy were also nervous. What's going on? After such a long time, Lin Xian still hadn't come out? Could it be that there was an accident? No way, Lin Xian was injured? Or was there something special about that blow just now? So that Lin Xian couldn't come out? For a moment, everyone was extremely nervous. Qing Wu's little face turned even uglier. Damn it, hurry up and come out. Seeing Xian Yun walking over, she snorted coldly, and a touch of blood appeared in her eyes again. Since the damn Lin Xian was unreliable, then she would do it herself. In short, she would not give in. I say, aren't you being too impatient? Do you think you can defeat me with a wave of your stupid fan? Have you been kicked in the head by a donkey? A disdainful voice sounded, causing everyone to be stunned. Xian Yun even stopped in his tracks, and his body was a little stiff. What's going on? He suddenly turned his head, and a terrifying light flashed in his eyes. The next moment he screamed. It's you! How is that possible? He found that behind him stood a young man in a red robe, who was his opponent. Wasn't his opponent enveloped by his attack? How could he appear behind him? Who was the one he hit just now? The other party was unharmed. For a moment, Xian Yun was a little confused. Not only him, but the people from Heavenly Cloud's mansion were also stunned. This kid! Damn it, how could he be so fast? Could it be that he dodged? No way. These people were also going crazy. The people from Extraordinary Warrior Mansion all breathed a sigh of relief. Great, I knew Lin Xian wouldn't be defeated. That's right, who is Lin Xian? Just wait and see, Xian Yun is definitely going to be unlucky. At this moment, they became excited again. Qing Wu also breathed a sigh of relief. This guy was always so thrilling. She retreated to the side. She knew that with Lin Xian making a move, there should be no suspense in this battle. Xian Yun was strong and talented, but unfortunately, he encountered Lin Xian. I didn't expect you to be able to escape my attack. Kid, it seems that your speed is beyond my expectations. But do you think you can defeat me just because you're fast? You've angered me, so next, you'll have a taste of hell. Xian Yun walked up again. He decided that this time, he would only stop when he saw his opponent being killed with his own eyes. Buzz! He waved the fan, emitting a vast aura, and struck out a terrifying storm that surged forward. The power this time was more violent than before. Moreover, the speed was very fast. Heaven and earth were completely sealed off. Kid, let's see how you're going to escape this time. Xian Yun revealed a sinister smile. Escape? Who said I'm going to escape? Lin Xian sneered, took a step forward, and the flames on his body surged into the sky, turning into a giant flame dragon that soared into the sky, resounding through the 9 heavens. Wherever the giant flame dragon passed, all the storms were swept away. The surrounding space was burning fiercely, and for a moment, the entire sky turned into a sea of fire. Boom! With a punch, the flames in the sky turned into a golden crow that descended from the sky, directly shrouding Xian Yun below. Chapter 3065. What? This kid is so strong! Those from the Heavenly Cloud Mansion narrowed their eyes, and the blood in their bodies kept rolling. Many of them were so scared that they fell to the ground. Damn it, this kid is a ruthless person. It's over, we've been fooled. Those from the Heavenly Cloud Mansion looked extremely ugly. They knew that they had underestimated the other party. The fact that he dared to come out and those from the Extraordinary Warrior Mansion did not stop him meant that the other party was not simple. They might have been deceived by the other party's reputation as a newcomer. Maybe he was also a super newcomer like Xian Yun. Xian Yun's pupils also shrank. He did not expect the other party to have such strength. Damn it, He was too careless. But so what? Even if the other party was a super newcomer, so what? Other than Bei Yao and the others, he did not put the other sky prides in his eyes. So in the next moment he roared, "Kid, you have completely angered me!" Mysterious runes were emitted from his fan as it rushed up and collided with the terrifying golden crow's fist. With a bang, the entire void turned into dust, leaving nothing behind. A peerless formation instantly appeared on the ground under his feet. It blocked the terrifying aura. This energy rushed straight into the sky, leading to the outer realm and exploding in the outer realm. After the attack, the energy disappeared and the light receded. The two figures appeared in front of them again. Those from the Extraordinary Warrior Mansion and the Heavenly Cloud Mansion were watching nervously. Those from the Extraordinary Warrior Mansion were very excited. "Lin Xian, good job. Beat him up. Beat him up hard. Beat him up." Those from the Heavenly Cloud Mansion looked gloomy. "Damn it, can this guy really compete with Xian Yun? This is not good news. Who is he? When did such a super newcomer appear in the Extraordinary Warrior Mansion? Why didn't we get the news before? Could it be him?" At this time, the man in blue also frowned. "Who is Senior Brother Chen?" Those around looked at the man in blue and asked carefully. They were in awe of the man in blue, and their respect was even higher than Xian Yun. They heard that a peerless genius had recently appeared in the Extraordinary Warrior Mansion, who comprehended the plenilune wordless steel and created a legend for tens of thousands of years. Maybe it's this kid in front of them. What? Someone comprehended the plenilune wordless steel? Heavens, impossible! Wasn't that something that no one had comprehended for tens of thousands of years? Damn it, who the hell is this kid? How did he do it? These people were all stunned. They had naturally heard of the full moon wordless steel. Furthermore, they also knew that other than Yi Guqing who had comprehended it back then, Yi Guqing had also comprehended it. For tens of thousands of years, no one had succeeded. Even people like the Northern Demon and Yu Linglong had attempted to do so, but they had all failed. In their eyes, the moongazer wordless steel was only a legend. No one had ever been able to comprehend it. Perhaps it was just an ordinary stone tablet that had become a legend. But now, someone else had comprehended it. This was definitely a heaven-defying feat. Damn it, if it was really this brat, Xian Yun would most likely be in danger. That was indeed the case. The House of Prodigy is too despicable. How could such a terrifying genius not say a word? Instead, he had disguised himself as an ordinary newcomer. He was trying to stir up trouble. Damn it, I've been tricked by them. The faces of the Heavenly Clouds Mansion's people darkened. No, I have to quickly tell Xian Yun. I can't let him be careless anymore. Soon, someone transmitted their voice. After Xian Yun heard the news, his body trembled and his eyes widened. He looked at the figure in front of him in disbelief. His expression was filled with shock and disbelief. The other party had comprehended the moongazer wordless steel. Impossible! It couldn't be a brat. Even if someone could comprehend the moongazer wordless steel, they would be in seclusion now. Who would be in the mood to care about such a thing? Didn't you see that the Northern Demon and the others were in seclusion? Therefore, he did not believe that the person who participated in the moongazer wordless steel was Lin Xian. Brat, no matter who you are, you've angered me now. So, go to hell. Buzz. 6 runes appeared on the surface of the swan fan and floated in the air. The sky darkened, the wind blew, and thunder filled the sky. A terrifying power spread out, pressing down on everyone until they couldn't breathe. Even Qing Wu and Zhong Lingxiu were facing it with their full strength. A mysterious bloodline power appeared on Qing Wu's body, and a green lotus appeared beside Zhong Lingxiu, suppressing heaven and earth. The surrounding formation flickered and shrouded everything. Kill! Xian Yun waved the fan in his hand, and the 6 ancient runes turned into rays of light that charged toward Lin Xian. From afar, it looked like a star in the sky, piercing through the sky and crashing into the earth. This attack was truly incomparably terrifying. Damn it! What kind of runes are these? They're definitely runes set up by a saint. It's too terrifying. Lin Xian, you have to dodge quickly. You can't take it head on. Indeed, the swan fan was very powerful, and these runes were even more terrifying. If he took it head on, he would be at a disadvantage. The best way to deal with it was to dodge it with speed. However, Lin Xian did not move. He just looked at the 6 runes rushing toward him. What's going on? Is Lin Shui going to take it head on? These people exclaimed. When the people of Heavenly Cloud's mansion saw this, they sneered again. This shouldn't be the brat who comprehended the Moongazer wordless steel. Look at him, he's scared out of his wits when he's facing the 6 runes. How could he be such a peerless genius? That peerless genius should be in seclusion. These people sneered disdainfully, but in the next moment, they were stunned, and even their bodies trembled. Many people directly knelt on the ground in fear. Even the blue-robed man's pupils shrank, and his face was full of disbelief. Lin Xian didn't dodge at all. When the 6 runes arrived in front of him, he slowly raised his finger. It moved forward. This time, the movement was very slow. It was as if he was drawing a picture. Moreover, there was no terrifying power, nor was there any bright light. It was just an ordinary stroke. However, this time, the whole world trembled as if it was about to split open. Endless energy surged, and the 6 ancient runes were destroyed in an instant. All the terrifying scenes and terrifying cracks between the heavens and the earth had completely disappeared. It was as if everything that happened before was just a dream. The people of Heavenly Cloud's mansion were stunned. Not to mention them, the people of Extraordinary Warrior Mansion were also stunned. In their opinion, Lin Xian should have used the 9 Yang Divine Body to resist the 6 terrifying attacks. However, they guessed wrong. Lin Xian didn't take the attack head-on. Instead, he drew a strange arc in the air. Under this strange arc, the 6 runes were reduced to ashes. What kind of arc was this? They were all stunned. Damn it! It's impossible! What did he do? With a gentle wave of his arm, he broke 6 runes? This is impossible. Those 6 runes, even Qing Wu's bloodline power couldn't block them. How could that brat block them? Chapter 3066. What did he use? Could it be a super powerful sage-level artifact? These people had gone crazy. Xian Yun looked even more adorable. What's going on? His super powerful attack was easily neutralized by the other party. It was so easy? Damn it, how could the other party have such a mysterious divine ability? What the hell was that? At this moment, everyone was stunned. Qing Wu was stunned. In the distance, Zhong Lingxiu was also stunned. Her beautiful eyes flickered as she stared at Lin Xian. At the same time, the elders of the Extraordinary Warrior Mansion who were watching the battle in the dark were also shocked. What was going on just now? How could they not watch when the Heavenly Cloud Mansion came knocking on their door? However, they were all juniors, so these elders couldn't make a move. Therefore, they could only watch in the dark to avoid losing their lives. After all, they were all geniuses, and it would be a pity if they died. Previously, the Heavenly Cloud Mansion was very arrogant, which made these elders very unhappy. However, there was nothing they could do. Unexpectedly, Lin Xian came and turned the situation around, which made these elders excited. In their opinion, Lin Xian should be able to defeat the other party with the Great Dragon Sword Soul and 9 Yang Divine Body. However, Lin Xian did make a move, but it was different from what they had imagined. He didn't seem to use the Great Dragon Sword Soul, nor did he use the 9 Yang Divine Body. With just a casual attack, he destroyed such a terrifying sage-level rune. How did he do it? His attack just now seemed ordinary, but it was very strange. It was close to Tao. What? Close to Tao? How is this possible? Did this kid comprehend it so quickly? These elders were dumbfounded and their bodies trembled. The next moment, they were extremely excited as if they had been injected with chicken blood. This kid's talent is heaven-defying. How long has it been since he got the plenilun wordless steel? Heavens, he was definitely going to win. Previously, these elders were still a little worried. After all, Xian Yun's Dharma treasure was very powerful. But now, after Lin Xian used this move, these elders were all relieved. They continued to watch the battle with excitement. These people from the Heavenly Clouds mansion were so arrogant. Now, they were going to suffer. Hee, Xian Yun will probably be defeated. Damn it, I don't believe it. Go to hell. Xian Yun roared madly. This time, the fan in his hand emitted a terrifying glow, causing rare phenomena to take place. Swan fan, 10 cardinals purgatory. A sinister wind blew, and the cries of ghosts and howls of wolves could be heard. The entire world turned dark, as if it had turned into hell. Black runes jumped about, emitting a cold and terrifying aura, wanting to take Lin Xian's life. Within the formation, the geniuses of the elite manor who were being protected were shivering in fear. Damn it, what kind of treasure is this? To be able to unleash such a divine ability. This was the work of a saint. This Xian Yun's treasure was seriously too powerful. He wondered how Lin Xian was going to fight this time. Don't worry, this kid has the great dragon sword's soul and can destroy everything. This cold aura is not a threat to him. These words made the people of the House of Prodigy let out a sigh of relief. The members of the Heavenly Clouds mansion became nervous once again. Lad, let's see how you will die this time. Xian Yun also laughed complacently. He did not believe that the other party would be able to break it this time around. Even if he could break it, he would be seriously injured. In the face of such a terrifying attack, Lin Xian was still expressionless. He did not even try to dodge. He raised his arm again and drew the same strange arc as before. Crack! 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 The hellish scene and the surroundings quickly collapsed. In an instant, the world regained its clarity. All of the hellish scenes were shattered. How was this possible? The people of the Heavenly Clouds mansion were dumbfounded. They trembled and felt a chill run down their spines. Xian Yun's scalp went numb. His eyes were wide open. What was going on? When Lin Xian made his move, Xian Yun used his eye technique to check if it was an elder of the House of Prodigy who was secretly attacking. However, he realized that it was not the case. It was only this kid. Moreover, the other party did not use any treasured weapon. He had used his finger to draw a line in the air, and the divine ability he had unleashed had collapsed. This caused Xian Yun to start doubting his life. Was his attack really so trash? No, this was impossible. He was very clear about the power of the swan fan. No one could easily block it. What the hell was this kid doing? At this moment, Xian Yun began to doubt his life. The people of the House of Prodigy were also stunned. The elders who were secretly watching the battle were excited. That's right, it was close to Tao. Although it was not a Tao pattern, it was far beyond ordinary runes. It carried a mysterious and unfathomable aura. This Lin Xian was really amazing. He could comprehend it so quickly. Yes, even if he was talented, he couldn't be so fast. Back then, even Yi Qing was not so fast, right? Indeed, Lin Xian's speed of comprehension was beyond the expectations of these elders. To be honest, Lin Xian was also shocked when he used it. The power was so terrifying. Was this the power of Tao? No wonder sages were invincible and unsurpassable. This was not a Tao pattern, not a law. It was just him imitating a Tao pattern and transforming it. It was so terrifying. How terrifying was a real Tao pattern? It was estimated that if a Tao pattern flew out, Xian Yun and those geniuses of the Heavenly Cloud Mansion would be instantly turned into ashes. Of course, Lin Xian was able to achieve it so quickly. In addition to his abnormal talent, the Heavenly Secret Divine Eye also played a big role. The Heavenly Secret Divine Eye was originally a mysterious and unparalleled eye that could see through everything. At this moment, with the plenilun seed, Lin Xian could clearly see the Tao patterns and laws between heaven and earth. Therefore, his speed of progress was so astonishing. Of course, in these 2 months, he had only comprehended 2 curves. Now, he was using the first one. Lin Xian looked ahead, stunned and even doubting Xian Yun's life. The corner of his mouth raised into a smile. I said, you are not my opponent. I also asked you before, do you know what it means to die young? In the end, you didn't listen to my advice at all. Since that's the case, don't blame me for being impolite. If you admit defeat obediently, you can avoid some torture. You choose for yourself. With these two incomparably mysterious curves in his hands, Lin Xian did not place Xian Yun in his eyes at all. Not to mention, he also had the great dragon sword soul and 9 yang divine body. Xian Yun was trembling with anger. Admit defeat? What a joke! If he lost, he would have to kneel and kowtow to apologize. This would be worse than killing him. Previously, Xian Yun had agreed to such a condition without even thinking about it. In his opinion, he would not lose. But now, he was very likely to lose. No, he could not accept it. As a peerless genius, he could not kneel and apologize to these people. Damn it, I don't believe it! Xian Yun roared and quickly charged over. The folding fan in his hand danced continuously, and streams of killing intent flew out from the fan. They intertwined with each other, forming a huge bolt of lightning that shattered the entire heaven and earth. The lightning and runes in the sky intertwined with each other, forming a terrifying array that enveloped Lin Xian. Chapter 3067. This Xian Yun was really terrifying. If it wasn't for Lin Xian, no one would be able to defeat him. Only the northern beasts would be able to defeat him. That was indeed the case. The terrifying murderous aura pierced through the 9 heavens, causing even Qing Wu's body to tremble. It was too strong, so strong that she couldn't contend with it. In the face of such a terrifying murderous aura, Lin Xian was like a phantom, moving quickly in the endless murderous aura. At the same time, a sharp sword chi burst out from his body. He waved his hands, and the sword chi rushed forward, destroying the monstrous murderous aura. How was this possible? How could his strength be so strong? The people of the Heavenly Clouds mansion were stunned. Lin Xian was beyond their imagination. Xian Yun was even more shocked. The other party was very relaxed in his murderous aura, as if he was taking a stroll in the park. This scene almost caused him to break down. Especially the sword chi from the other party, it was even more terrifying than his murderous aura. He couldn't bear it. Damn kid, I want you dead! The moment the other party destroyed the murderous aura, Xian Yun quickly rushed forward. He spat out a blood light from his mouth, spraying it on the fan in his hand. Immediately, the simple fan trembled, emitting an incomparable blood light. The blood light filled the sky, and the 6 ancient runes jumped out again, surrounded by endless blood, exuding an incomparably terrifying aura. Kid, go to hell. Blood Fiend's 6 runes. The 6 blood runes were like the sun, filled with a monstrous blood aura, instantly shrouding Lin Xian. Great, Xian Yun had used this attack, the kid was definitely dead. An invincible king couldn't contend with it. This was a sure kill attack. The people of the Heavenly Clouds mansion regained their confidence. The people of the Extraordinary Warrior mansion were indeed worried. Even the elders who were watching in the dark felt their hearts beating wildly. Damn it, the murderous aura of these 6 blood runes was too shocking, it could destroy everything. They wondered how this Lin Xian would deal with it. His 9 yang divine body should be fine. The 9 yang divine body of a sage should be fine. I wonder what level this kid has reached. Everyone couldn't help but worry for Lin Xian. Lin Xian naturally felt a great sense of danger. These 6 blood runes were not simple. There was no need to look at them to know that they were the work of a saint. He was too powerful. Lin Xian took a deep breath and waved his arm again. However, the arc this time was different from the previous one. However, it was still very slow. It didn't seem to have any power, nor did it explode with light. However, once it appeared in the air, the surrounding crimson runes began to tremble. They were simply unable to withstand it. Damn it, how is this possible? When Xian Yun caught sight of this, he shrieked out. The 6 blood malevolent runes should have been able to suppress everything. But to think that they would be shaken by the other party so easily. What was he trying to do? Xian Yun was about to go crazy. Whoosh! This time, as Lin Xian waved his arm, an arc appeared in the sky. When this arc appeared, it seemed to open up a gap. Flames that filled the sky flew out. Flames? It's useless. Extinguish! Xian Yun roared. It's just a mere flame. How can it destroy 6 of my runes? How naive! However, he soon realized that he was the naive one. After the flames appeared, they directly enveloped the 6 blood malevolent runes. The 6 blood malevolent runes emitted a terrifying power. However, they were quickly burned away, leaving nothing behind. What kind of flame is this? How can it be so powerful? Xian Yun was stunned. The people of Heavenly Cloud's mansion behind him were also stunned. They couldn't believe it. The people of Extraordinary Warrior Mansion were also shocked. Is this the 9 Suns' divine fire? But is the 9 Suns' divine fire that terrifying? Has Lin Xian's 9 Suns' divine body become stronger again? It wasn't that they had never seen the 9 Suns' divine fire before. Previously, when Lin Xian fought with Hamo, he had used it. However, although the 9 Suns' divine fire was powerful at that time, it wasn't terrifying to this extent. This kid really has a lot of trump cards. The elders in the dark exclaimed. It's not the 9 Suns' divine fire. This kid actually comprehended another power. These elders were too excited. Because this curve was obviously different from the previous one. The previous one could dissolve and shatter everything. It was very violent and had a destructive aura. But this one was the law of fire. These were 2 completely different powers. This kid could actually comprehend 2 powers in 2 months and unleash a power that was close to Tao. This was simply too shocking for these elders to handle. Buzz, buzz, buzz. In the sky, terrifying flames surged and flew forward, enveloping Xian Yun. Impossible! You can't hurt me! Get lost! Xian Yun roared crazily. He soared into the sky and charged forward. He wanted to extinguish the flames. He waved the fan in his hand and waves rushed out, wanting to extinguish the flames. However, he quickly retreated because the waves he created were instantly vaporized into white mist that drifted in all directions. When he approached the flames, he felt his body melting. This flame was too powerful. It wasn't something he could resist. Even if he had the swan fan, it wouldn't be enough. Go around the flames and attack from other places. Xian Yun's idea was good. But he still underestimated this power that was close to Tao. When he moved, those flames also moved. The speed was quick to the extreme. In an instant, it formed a cage enveloping him. The frightening power of the flames continued to crush down. Damn it, block for me! Xian Yun roared angrily, casting the swan fan to block. The power that was close to Tao was too terrifying. Even Xian Yun could only protect himself. While at this time, Lin Xian cast Annihilation again. He comprehended a total of 2 powers that were close to Tao. One could destroy everything, which he called Annihilation. The second was this kind of flame, which he called Smoke Fire. The moment the power of Annihilation was released, it shattered everything, directly sending the swan fan flying. Xian Yun completely despaired. Without the swan fan, he could not resist the surrounding flames at all. In an instant, the battle armor on his body melted, shattering into pieces. His body was also ignited, screaming miserably. Still not admitting defeat? Lin Xian snorted coldly. Damn it! Xian Yun screamed. In the next moment, half of his body turned into a sea of blood. His miserable appearance made the scalps of the people of the Heavenly Cloud Mansion tingle. Stop! How dare you! The people of the Heavenly Cloud Mansion screamed crazily. Many of them rushed over. However, they were soon blasted back by the flames. It's too terrifying. These flames are not something we can stop. Damn it, if you dare to kill him, you're dead meat. Humph! At this moment, a cold voice came from the void. Then, a ray of light lit up and turned into a monstrous water, extinguishing all of Lin Xian's flames. Then, the monstrous water wrapped around Xian Yun and saved him. An expert had made his move. Chapter 3068. Lin Xian squinted his eyes. To be able to break the power that was close to Tao, it was most likely a sage or a half-sage. It should be an elder of the heavenly cloud mansion. Indeed, an old man appeared in the sky. His face was extremely ugly. Previously, he was hiding in the dark like the elders of the extraordinary warrior mansion. After all, it was not suitable for the elders to intervene in the battle between the younger generation. However, although he was hiding in the dark, he was very happy. The people they sent this time were too strong. Especially Xian Yun, he directly beat up the extraordinary scholar manor until it was dead silent, suffering repeated defeats. This naturally made them very happy. However, they did not expect that Lin Xian would appear and defeat Xian Yun with two simple moves. Even now, half of Xian Yun's body was ignited and he was almost killed. This scene forced the elder of the heavenly cloud mansion to take action. If he took action a little later, Xian Yun's body and soul would have been destroyed. Great, it was the elder who took action. The geniuses of the heavenly cloud mansion also heaved a sigh of relief. You've won this battle, the elder of the heavenly cloud mansion said coldly. Hearing this, the geniuses of the heavenly cloud mansion had ugly expressions while the extraordinary warrior mansion cheered. This is great. He won, he finally won. And he defeated Xian Yun in a domineering manner. As expected of Lin Xian, he's really powerful. A peerless genius, this kid will definitely defy the heavens in the future. Yes, those two moves were too terrifying. Even the Northern Demon and Yu Linglong would have a headache if they encountered them. They were overjoyed. Lin Xian said in a deep voice. Since he had lost, he should fulfill the bet. What? As soon as these words came out, the people of the extraordinary warrior mansion were stunned. Yes, there was still a bet. The faces of the people of the heavenly cloud mansion darkened. Xian Yun was trembling with anger. What a joke! You want me to kowtow and admit my mistake? Impossible! He screamed like a madman. The elder of the heavenly cloud mansion also darkened his face. Junior, don't go too far. Go too far? Suchin smiled. Did you think he went too far when he used his magical weapon to suppress the geniuses of the extraordinary warrior mansion? When he humiliated the geniuses of our house of prodigies, did you think it was too much? When he wanted to lay his hands on the number one beauty of our house of prodigy, did you think it was too much? You didn't even step out when he did something so outrageous before. Now that he's asked to kowtow and admit his mistake, you're jumping out instead? What, do you think there's no one in my house of prodigy? At this point, Lin Xian glanced at the void. In the dark, a few elders of the extraordinary warrior mansion laughed. This little guy seems to have discovered our existence. Humph! These people from the heavenly clouds mansion are too hateful. Do they really think this is their territory? Let's go out and let them know whose territory this is. In the sky, several figures appeared, bringing with them great power. Suppress an area. The elder had appeared. The geniuses of the outstanding scholar mansion cheered. On the other hand, the faces of the heavenly clouds mansion's people turned even gloomier. Fellow Taoist, it's best that we don't interfere in the battle between the younger generation. That's right, I have 6,000 years old spirit tea here. Why don't you go and have a taste? Several elders of the extraordinary warrior mansion surrounded and stared at the elder of the heavenly clouds mansion. The face of the elder of the heavenly clouds mansion was terrifyingly dark. He didn't expect the elder of the extraordinary warrior mansion to be so direct. If he left, Xian Yun's fate would be very miserable. However, at this time, the blue-clothed youth below said in a deep voice, Elder, don't worry. With me here, there won't be any problems. Well, I'll leave this place to you. I'll go and have a taste of the 6,000 years old spirit tea. After saying that, the elder of the heavenly clouds mansion coldly snorted. He put away the 3,000 spirit tea and placed Xian Yun on the ground. Then, He turned around and disappeared in the sky with the other elders of the extraordinary warrior mansion. The other party left just like that. The geniuses of the extraordinary warrior mansion were stunned. It shouldn't be. Isn't he afraid that Xian Yun will kowtow and admit his mistake? No, there's something wrong with that blue-clothed youth. His words made the elder of the Heavenly Clouds mansion so relieved. Who is this person? I don't know. He's not one of the top geniuses of the Heavenly Clouds mansion. Who is he? Damn, is he a newcomer of the Heavenly Clouds mansion? How many geniuses did the Heavenly Clouds mansion send this time? Xingwu sneered. No matter who came, the bet couldn't be changed. Kneel. Kowtow. Admit your mistake. Apologize. She was really angry. Previously, this group of people provoked and even humiliated her. They even wanted to take advantage of her. How could she not return the favor now? Yes, the people of the extraordinary warrior mansion also shouted crazily. Their voices were like thunder, shaking the 9 heavens. Kneel. Apologize. The geniuses of the extraordinary warrior mansion were very excited. This matter wasn't over yet. They would definitely spread the news to the ancient Star Road. They were really too excited. The people of the Heavenly Clouds mansion were so angry that they wanted to vomit blood. Damn it! If this news spread to the ancient Star Road, they would really lose face. Damn it, they were too careless. They didn't expect that the other party would have such a powerful person. They originally thought that since the Northern Monster, Yu Linglong, and other top geniuses were in seclusion, there weren't many powerful geniuses in the extraordinary warrior mansion. Coupled with the swan fan in Xian Yun's hand, they could definitely sweep the place. When the time came, they would spread the news to the ancient Star Road and humiliate the extraordinary warrior mansion. However, they didn't expect that a red-robed kid would appear halfway. He was so terrifying that he defeated Xian Yun with just a few moves. In fact, even their elders had been taken away by them. Now, they were faced with a difficult choice. To kneel or not to kneel? Damn kid, don't even think about it. Kill me if you have the guts. Xian Yun roared, his face ferocious. Humph, it's not up to you. Lin Xian strode forward. Today, you have to kneel even if you don't want to. In the sky, a big hand bloomed with the power of flames and grabbed at Xian Yun. It seemed that Lin Xian wanted to force Xian Yun to kneel down. No, damn it, don't you dare! Xian Yun roared, but now that he was seriously injured, he wasn't Lin Xian's opponent at all. He was about to be enveloped by the big flaming hand. However, at this moment, a thunderbolt pierced through the void and penetrated the big flaming hand. Who made the move? It was the blue-robed man. The people of the extraordinary warrior mansion exclaimed. Qing Wu, Zhong Lingxiu, and other top geniuses were also shocked. The other party actually had an expert. And it seemed that he was even more powerful than Xian Yun. Damn it, the Heavenly Cloud Mansion was too despicable. They actually sent so many experts while their experts were in seclusion. Fortunately, Lin Xian came, otherwise, they would really be in danger this time. Lin Xian was also surprised. He raised his head and looked at the other party. The other party could easily destroy his palm, which was beyond his expectations. It seemed that he should be a strong enemy. Who are you? Lin Xian asked coldly. Why? Do you want to break the contract? You want to walk the ancient path of the starry sky? Don't worry, the Heavenly Cloud Mansion is a man of his word. The blue-robed man walked forward and said coldly. However, I want to make another bet with you. Fight with me. If you win, I'll make Xian Yun apologize and chop off his arms. Moreover, I'll give you 50 kilograms of cold iron starry cloud stone. If you lose, then the previous bet will be written off. How about it? Chapter 3069. Hearing this, the people of the extraordinary warrior mansion were in an uproar. They did not expect that the young man in blue would still fight. After seeing how powerful Lin Xian was, he still wanted to fight. Where did this person get his confidence from? Who was he? How dare he fight with him? Yes, we won't lose anything from this bet. If we win, we can make Xian Yun apologize. We can also get 50 kilograms of cold iron starry cloud stone. This was an extremely precious metal, a material used to forge a half-saint weapon, and it was very rare. 50 kilograms was a lot. It was enough to forge a half-saint weapon. Yes, even if he lost, it was nothing. Everyone was discussing. Lin Xian narrowed his eyes. The other party was so confident that he wanted to fight with him. Well, he wanted to see where the other party got his confidence from. Okay, I agree to fight with you. As soon as the words came out, the people of the Extraordinary Warrior Mansion cheered, while the people of the Heavenly Clouds Mansion sneered. He dared to fight with Senior Brother Chen. He was courting death. Senior Brother Chen would never lose. Senior Brother Chen's strength was far above Xian Yun. That kid definitely did not know Senior Brother Chen, otherwise he would not dare to fight with him. Kid, you're definitely no match for Senior Brother Chen. Xian Yun, who was at the side, also recovered and snorted coldly. He retreated to the side with an extremely cold expression. Only the young man in blue and Lin Xian were left in the field. Lin Xian took a deep breath, and a piercing light burst out from his eyes. He held the blazing Qilin sword in his hand and slashed down. He did not use the two forces that were close to Dao, because although the two forces were terrifying, it would consume a lot of energy to use them. With Lin Xian's current strength, he could only use a few moves. He could only use it as a trump card. Previously, Xian Yun was too arrogant, and he wanted to suppress him with a thunderous method, so he used the force that was close to Dao. Moreover, he also wanted to see how terrifying this force was. Now he had seen it. However, the young man in blue in front of him was a great threat to him. He was even above Xian Yun. Moreover, he did not know what his opponent's trump card was. Therefore, he didn't use anything close to the power of the Dao. However, even if he didn't use these two powers, Lin Xian's strength was still very strong. At this moment, when the sword light appeared, it swept across the 9 heavens and 10 earths. What? He was a swordsman. The people of the Heavenly Clouds Mansion behind him screamed. This sword was too terrifying. Who would have thought that Lin Xian did not display his terrifying strength, but instead used a sword technique? Xian Yun's eyelids twitched violently. Even if his opponent did not possess such strength, just this sword technique alone was not something that he could contend against. This made him even more terrified. Who exactly was this person? Could he really be the peerless genius who comprehended the moon-gazing wordless steel? The blue-clothed man was also shocked. Lin Xian's sword technique was a threat to him. The space around him collapsed rapidly, as if there was a sharp force that wanted to cut him in half. Swordsman? The man in blue sneered. He raised his hand and pressed forward. Blue runes floated out from his palm, emitting a hazy glow that grew larger and larger. Shaochen threw a palm strike, and the sharp sword light in the sky quickly melted away. Was it broken? Zhong Lingxiu frowned. Qing Wu also exclaimed. Her opponent had broken Lin Xian's sword so easily. Lin Xian was also stunned. He was indeed a difficult opponent. Swoosh, swoosh, swoosh. Dozens of swords flew out, sweeping across heaven and earth. However, with a wave of the blue palm, Lin Xian's sword chi was completely annihilated. What's going on? Lin Xian was surprised. This force was a bit like his annihilation. Indeed, the sword chi did not collapse, but gradually became smaller, like a flame that quickly disappeared and finally disappeared. What kind of force was this? Could it be that his opponent had also mastered a force that was close to Dao? She shouldn't have missed that terrifying heartbeat. Ha ha ha, kid, are you an idiot? Let me tell you, our senior brother Chen is a super expert. His strength is not something that you can contend with. Senior brother Chen's poisonous palm can melt and corrode everything in the world. No matter how strong your sword chi is, you can't block it. A poison expert. The people of the Extraordinary Warrior Mansion behind him were stunned. Could it be him? Someone screamed. Qin Ke, known as the Poison King, had terrifying strength. The poison in his body was extremely strange. When fighting with him, one could be poisoned unknowingly. Hearing this, the people of the extraordinary warrior mansion were terrified. They were no strangers to the Poison King, but few people had seen him before. Everyone only knew his name, but they did not expect him to be the blue-robed man in front of them. No wonder the elders of the Heavenly Cloud Mansion were so relieved. The Poison King was a veteran expert. Moreover, he was very famous in the Heavenly Cloud Mansion and was one of the top experts. Damn it, they did not expect that a dark horse like Xian Yun would appear this time, and a veteran expert like the Poison King would come too. The Heavenly Cloud Mansion was too hateful. Lin Xian, be careful of his poison. You will be in danger if you are contaminated. It was said that almost no one among the invincible kings could detoxify his poison. A poison expert? Lin Xian frowned. No wonder he could melt his sword chi before. It turned out that he had used poison to melt it. He really hadn't seen many poison experts like this. Generally, he could kill those who were weak with a single sword strike. There were very few people who were strong enough to use poison. Moreover, Lin Xian did not have much experience fighting against poison experts. But so what? A cold light burst out from his eyes, and the sword in his hand fell again. This time, the power was stronger. It was useless. Qin shook his head and waved his cold poison palm. In the palm, strange blue runes floated, and the corrosive power made the void collapse. Nothing could withstand his poison, and his opponent's sword chi would be instantly corroded. Buzz! It was not corroded. The next moment, Qin's eyelids twitched. He found that although the sword chi was affected by his poison gas, it suddenly burst out with a cold light. It slashed down with an extremely terrifying power. Swoosh! Qin's figure flickered, turned into a blue smoke, and disappeared. What was going on? That kid was not affected by the corrosion. How could his sword chi be so fierce? Impossible! Even the attack of a quasi-saint artifact would be affected. What was the grade of the sword in the kid's hand? The people of the Heavenly Cloud Mansion screamed. No, it was just a quasi-saint artifact. How could its power be so terrifying? The people of the Extraordinary Warrior Mansion also breathed a sigh of relief. They knew that it was not the blazing Qilin sword that was too terrifying, but Lin Xian had the great dragon sword soul. That biting cold sword chi would not be so easily destroyed. Sure enough, one sword strike, 2 swords, 3 swords, the poison gas in the sky was all cut open. The sky was clear again, and the corroded black holes slowly disappeared. Qinku was suppressed. They could not believe it. Impossible! How could senior brother be suppressed? Chapter 3070. Qinku's face was extremely cold. How could this biting cold sword chi break my frost poison palm? His face was also a little gloomy, and the blue runes in his hands slowly disappeared. Interesting. I'm getting more and more interested in you. I wonder how you're going to fight next? Qinku flipped his palm, and a palm-sized black box was taken out by him. Then, with a wave of his finger, the lid of the box opened, and a 7-colored centipede appeared inside. A 7-colored centipede! Damn it, this guy actually has this thing. Don't let it bite you. Otherwise, even a half-step saint will die. Behind him, Qing Wu also screamed. She didn't expect Qinku to have such a terrifying 7-colored centipede. Whoosh! As she spoke, the 7-colored centipede turned into a ray of light and flew out. In an instant, it disappeared into the void. It disappeared! Damn it, where is it? The people of the Extraordinary Warrior Mansion exclaimed. Qing Wu's face was pale, and Zhong Lingxiu's eyes were mysterious. Lin Xian stopped and frowned. A 7-colored centipede? He knew that it was an extremely terrifying poisonous insect. If bitten by it, an invincible king would instantly be poisoned to death. This 7-colored centipede was also an extremely terrifying monster in ancient times. He didn't expect Qinku to have one. He didn't know how old it was. But even if it was a larva, The poison was probably not something an invincible king could withstand. Lin Xian opened his heavenly secret divine eyes. He saw a blurry seven-colored light in the void, moving quickly. In an instant, it came behind him and pounced fiercely. Get lost! He waved the blazing Qilin sword and slashed out a ray of sword light directly behind him. With a clang, the seven-colored centipede was shaken out and flew out. What? He actually found the seven-colored centipede. That's impossible! The people of the heavenly cloud mansion screamed, and Qinke's eyelids twitched. The seven-colored centipede could escape into the void without a trace. Ordinary people wouldn't be able to find it at all. Even powerful geniuses wouldn't be able to find it without a special secret method. How did Qinke find it? And it was so accurate. After sending the seven-colored centipede flying, Lin Xian turned into a ray of divine light and rushed forward. The blazing Qilin sword continued to slash at the seven-colored centipede. Damn it! Get lost! Qinke roared madly and controlled the seven-colored centipede to counterattack. But under the heavenly fortune divine eyes, there was nowhere for the seven-colored centipede to hide. With the support of the great dragon sword soul, Lin Xian's sword Qi was extremely terrifying. It forced the seven-colored centipede to retreat. Puchi! The seven-colored centipede opened its mouth and spat out a seven-colored poisonous mist toward Lin Xian's face. If he breathed it in, Lin Xian would immediately die from the poison. Qing Wu, Zhong Lingxiu, and the others were extremely nervous. Puchi! Lin Xian slashed down with his sword. The power of the great dragon sword spirit erupted, causing the sword Qi to be incomparably sharp. This sword cleaved the seven-colored poison mist apart. The remaining poison tried to enter Lin Xian's body, but the nine-yan divine body emitted a divine light and blocked the seven-colored poison mist. Lin Xian continued to chase after the seven-colored centipede in the poisonous fog. Damn it! How is this possible? How can he block it? What kind of body does he have? Xian Yun screamed like a madman. Qinke's eyelids were also twitching. Damn it, who the hell is this person? Why do I feel that he's ridiculously strong? Clang! 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 The blazing Qilin sword struck the seven-colored centipede, producing thunderous sounds and shattering the surrounding space. Finally, a crack appeared on the seven-colored centipede's body. Although it was small, it was still injured. Seeing this, Qinke screamed like a madman and wanted to recall the seven-colored centipede. Stay here! Lin Xian snorted and drew a strange arc with the blazing Qilin sword. Annihilation! A destructive force burst out and slammed into the crack. With a puchi, the crack became bigger and the seven-colored centipede's body was directly torn apart. Roar! The seven-colored centipede was an invincible monster king. It was very powerful and its body was even tougher. However, it was still broken by someone. The seven-colored centipede let out a crazy roar. In addition, Qinke was controlling it from afar. It turned into a stream of light and fled far away. However, the seven-colored poisonous blood that remained in the air turned into poisonous arrows and pierced towards Lin Xian. Lin Xian's sword moved again. Smoke and fire! A terrifying and mysterious power surged from the sword and gradually destroyed all the poisonous swords. The next moment, he turned his head and stared into the distance. Damn it, how dare you hurt my baby! I won't let you off! Qinke put away the seven-colored centipede and placed it in the brocade box. He had a pained look on his face. The seven-colored centipede was seriously injured. It would probably take a few decades for it to fully recover. This made his heart bleed. Lin Xian snorted coldly. You're still worried about the seven-colored centipede? I'll worry about you first. As he said that, he turned into a stream of light and strode forward. However, halfway through he stopped. His body swayed, and he almost fell from the sky. What's going on? Behind him, the people of Extraordinary Warrior Mansion exclaimed. Qing Wu and Zhong Lingxiu also screamed. Was Li Xian injured? It shouldn't be. Previously, the 7-colored centipede did not hurt Lin Xian. Chunke looked up to the sky and laughed. Ha ha ha, kid, you're still poisoned. You want to fight with me? You're still far from it. What, poisoned? That's impossible. Qing Wu screamed. Zhong Linxiu also frowned. Xian Yun sneered. I've said it before. You're no match for senior brother Qin. The experts of Heavenly Cloud's mansion also laughed. Ha ha, this kid, is he an idiot? You want to fight with senior brother Chen? Can you resist? After being poisoned, you're useless. Let's see how our senior brother Chen cripples you. Poisoned? Lin Xian also frowned. His face was gloomy and cold. It shouldn't be. How could he be poisoned? The cold poison palm was broken by him, and the 7-colored centipede was also crippled by him. During the whole process, he was not injured. How could he be poisoned? No, wait. Lin Xian was shocked. He could feel that he was indeed poisoned in his body. His golden eyes burst out with a cold light and a crescent moon floated in his eyes. This is poison gas. Colorless and odorless. An undetectable poison gas. Lin Xian was shocked. He did not expect that his opponent would use such a colorless and odorless poison gas. He did not notice it at all. If it wasn't for the poison in his body, he would not have noticed it at all. Bang! A big blue palm with poison gas slapped over, enveloping Lin Xian and sending him flying. Lin Xian flew out and landed on the ground, causing countless large cracks. Lin Xian! The people of Extraordinary Warrior Mansion screamed crazily. Qing Wu and the others were also nervous to the extreme. Chunke frowned. He was not injured. He found that although he sent his opponent flying with this palm, his opponent's physique was not injured. His poison gas did not even enter his opponent's body. It only circulated on the surface of his body. What kind of physique is this? It's too strong. Chunke frowned, but soon, he revealed a ferocious expression. Chapter 3071. So what if the other party's physique was strong? He was now poisoned by the devil flower. He was already seriously injured and on the verge of death. He did not have any strength to resist at all. He could torture and kill the other party at will. He would let these people from the House of Prodigy know who was the real powerhouse. It's over, Lin Xian is in danger. Yes, he was actually poisoned. The Poison King's poison was definitely not that easy to detoxify. He probably could not unleash his strength at all right now. Careless, Lin Xian should have directly displayed those 2 incomparably mysterious powers and defeated the Poison King. Those 2 incomparably mysterious powers definitely could not be easily released. Moreover, it looked like Lin Xian wanted to probe the Poison King's strength previously. This strategy was not wrong. It was just that he did not expect the Poison King to release the Devil Flower's poison at an unknown time. Damn it! Luckily we have a peerless array protecting us. Otherwise, we would already be dead people now. These people from the House of Prodigy felt their heads and feet go cold. Indeed, if they encountered the Poison King outside, they probably would not even know how they died. Hee, watch how Senior Apprentice Brother Chen will torture him to death. Xian Yun revealed a sinister smile. Chunke walked up in large strides. On his palm, countless poisonous insects flew out, turning into a poisonous blade, incomparably sinister. Slashing out, the void was instantly corroded. This blade slashed onto Lin Xian's body, sending Lin Xian flying again. However, how powerful was the 9-yang divine body? Lin Xian had already cultivated it to the 5th level now. In other words, his current physique had already surpassed an invincible king realm. Ordinary attacks really couldn't hurt him. Unless it was something like using poison, or a power close to Tao. Damn it, this kid's physique was actually so strange. Chunke also frowned. He waved his hand, and that poisonous sword flew forward, turning into countless poisonous lights, completely enveloping Lin Xian. I don't believe that I can't poison you to death. The poisonous insects covered the sky, covered Lin Xian's body, constantly biting and releasing poisonous gas, making sonorous sounds. The 9 yang divine body was swallowed up. This scene was very terrifying. Qing Wu and the others were on tenterhooks. Looking at this scene, they wanted to help, but the battle was still not over. If they made a move, it would mean that Lin Xian was done for. They could not accept this result. Lin Xian was also affected by being surrounded by so many poisonous insects. Although the 9 yang divine body is powerful, it still hasn't reached the sage realm. And now, he was poisoned, causing him to suffer from internal and external impacts, causing his blood and qi to roil. Poison? Do you really think you can poison me? Great Dragon Sword Spirit, attack! The dragon soul in Lin Xian's body roared and turned into countless sword lights that pierced through every inch of his flesh and blood, completely obliterating the poisonous gas. Up ahead, Qin Ke walked over once more. He looked at Lin Xian, who was lying on the ground and surrounded by a myriad of poisons, and a savage smile appeared on his face. He took out the 7-colored centipede again and spat out a drop of blood essence to envelop the 7-colored centipede. Go, you can take your revenge now, Qin Ke said to the rainbow centipede in her hand. The 7-colored centipede's eyes emitted a blood-red light. It let out a savage roar that shattered the heavens and the earth as it rushed forward quickly. It wanted to pierce through Lin Xian. The 7-colored centipede flew forward and the poisonous insects quickly spread out, forming a vacuum zone. It couldn't be helped. The 7-colored centipede was the supreme king of the poisonous insect world. It was all thanks to Qin Ke that the poisonous insects didn't collapse from fright. It was Qin Ke who controlled the 7-colored centipede. Otherwise, these poisonous insects would have all been killed by the 7-colored centipede. The 7-colored centipede turned into a stream of light and instantly rushed towards Lin Xian's head, wanting to eat his brain. Not good. Seeing this scene, Qing Wu, Zhong Lingxiu, and the others screamed. The faces of those from the outstanding scholar mansion also changed greatly. Ordinary poisonous insects couldn't break through Lin Xian's body, but the 7-colored centipede was different. It could even poison a half-saint to death. No matter how strong Lin Xian was, he would probably die from the poison after being bitten by the 7-colored centipede. The people from the Heavenly Clouds mansion sneered. Xian Yun even showed a savage smile. The 7-colored centipede had already arrived in front of Lin Xian and was about to attack. However, at this moment, a large golden hand grabbed the 7-colored centipede. What? Qin Ke was stunned. Did he attack? How could he still attack? It shouldn't be. He was already crippled after being poisoned by his demon flower poison. Lin Xian opened his eyes and looked at the shocked Qin Ke in front of him. He looked at the struggling 7-colored centipede in his hand. The corners of his mouth lifted into a smile. Demon flower poison? It's powerful, but it can't do anything to me. Puff! Lin Xian exerted force in his palm and directly crushed the 7-colored centipede, turning it into countless poisonous blood that scattered in all directions. No! Damn it! Qin Ke screamed crazily. The 7-colored centipede also screamed. Its body reformed in the distance, but the light on its body dimmed a lot. Obviously, although this attack didn't kill it, it was severely injured. Come back! Qin Ke recalled the 7-colored centipede and put it back into his body. His heart was bleeding. The 7-colored centipede was already injured and would need dozens of years to recover. This time, it probably wouldn't be able to recover for at least 100 years. Damn kid, I'm going to kill you! He went crazy. 2 poisonous knives appeared in his hands and he slashed forward crazily. Buzz! Lin Xian stood up and waved the fire qilin sword, knocking away the 2 poisonous knives. He clenched his left hand into a fist and like a golden crow, he punched Qin Ke and sent him flying. Damn it, how can you be so powerful? Have you recovered your strength? Qin Ke vomited blood, his face full of horror. Had the demon flower poison been neutralized? He couldn't believe it. No invincible king could neutralize the demon flower poison. Even a half-saint's strength would be greatly reduced if he accidentally inhaled it. But now, Qin Ke was completely fine. Could it be that Qin Ke had forcibly suppressed it? No, no one could forcibly suppress the demon flower poison. Buzz! Lin Xian struck out with annihilation, shattering Qin Ke's body and causing him to scream in fear. Stop, you've won this battle! He didn't dare to continue fighting. The seven-colored centipede was injured, and Qin Ke still had those two mysterious and terrifying powers. If he continued fighting, he would probably end up in a miserable state. Therefore, he quickly admitted defeat. We've lost. The people of the Heavenly Cloud Mansion were stunned. That was Qin Ke, the Poison King. How terrifying was his strength! But now, he had admitted defeat? They couldn't believe it. Xian Yun screamed crazily. No! Senior brother Qin can't lose. You still have the strength to fight. He was going crazy. If Qin Ke admitted defeat, he would be the unluckiest one. He had to apologize to Qin Ke. Shut up! Qin Ke's face darkened. He turned his head and stared at Xian Yun. With a wave of his hand, countless poisonous insects turned into a huge hand and grabbed Xian Yun. I've said that I'll punish Xian Yun after you've won. Then, two rays of light burst out from his eyes and cut off Xian Yun's arms. Xian Yun screamed and rolled on the ground. His body was dyed red with blood, but he didn't dare to resist. Although he was a young genius, he was still too weak compared to Qin Ke. Moreover, he couldn't resist Qin Ke's poison at all. Hurry up and apologize! Qin Ke shouted coldly. Chapter 3072. Xian Yun was unwilling to do so, but when he saw Qin Ke's cold and twisted face, his heart raced. He did not dare to resist. Otherwise, Qin Ke's poison would be enough to kill him. Xian Yun's eyes turned red and his body trembled as he gritted his teeth and roared. Sorry, I apologize for my previous provocation and arrogance. Hearing Xian Yun's apology, Qing Wu opened her mouth wide. Those from the outstanding warrior mansion were also shocked. Whoosh! They screamed excitedly. He apologized. Haha, he actually apologized. That's great. These people from the Heavenly Cloud Mansion are still so arrogant. Get out! This is the territory of the Outstanding Warrior Mansion. In the future, if you see anyone from the Outstanding Warrior Mansion on the Ancient Star Path, you'll have to take a detour. Do you understand? Otherwise, I'll beat you until you piss your pants. They were overjoyed. Originally, the Heavenly Cloud Mansion was so arrogant, and they were helpless when they came to their territory. However, Lin Xian's appearance turned everything around. He even defeated the terrifying Poison King and made the arrogant Xian Yun apologize in public. Xian Yun even had his arms chopped off. This was definitely a great victory. Lin Xian nodded his head in satisfaction. He stared at Xian Yun and sneered. All right, get out of here. With your strength, it's impossible for you to do anything in the Outstanding Warrior Mansion. Go back and cultivate for another 1,000 years. Kid, what's your name? Qin Ke asked coldly. My name is Lin Xian. If you have any tricks, feel free to come at me. Lin Xian waved his hand and did not care. All right, Lin Xian, right? I'll remember you. Let's go. Qin Ke's face was gloomy as he led the crowd away. Xian Yun stopped the bleeding and his whole body was twisted. Kid, I'll never let you off on the Ancient Star Path. He took his broken arms and left quickly. Get out of here. Get out of the Outstanding Warrior Mansion. The Sky Prides from the Outstanding Warrior Mansion laughed proudly. Then, they quickly came to Lin Xian's side and they were all excited. Lin Gongzi, you're too cool. That's right, brother Lin. That move of yours just now was too powerful. How did you cure the devil flower's poison? These people looked at Lin Xian excitedly. Previously, their idol was only the number one of the 4 peaks. But now, there was one more, and that was Lin Xian. This time, Lin Xian could be said to have saved them and redeemed the reputation of the Prodigy Manor. Thank you so much for what you did. Qing Wu also had a rare blush on her small face as she thanked Lin Xian. Lin Xian glanced at her and said with a smile, A verbal thank you? Damn it, what else do you want? Qing Wu lightly snorted. Soon after, she remembered. Wait, don't go. Where's the promised 50 kilograms of cold iron starry cloud stone? In the distance, those who were leaving were stunned. Chinku's body stiffened, and he almost spat out a mouthful of blood. Gritting his teeth, he tossed out a storage ring with an unsightly expression on his face. Qingwu grabbed it in her hand. All right, I'll give you this cold iron nebula stone. This is good stuff. You're quite good at presenting Buddha with borrowed flowers. Lin Xian rubbed his nose. This should have been given to him in the first place. Humph, who said so? I used myself as a wager. Of course, the things I won are mine. Now I'm giving it to you to return the favor. Qingwu said angrily. Thinking of this, she became angry. This hateful guy, he actually dared to use me as a wager without my consent. If it wasn't for the other party being so powerful, she would have beaten him up. However, Qingwu was also very reluctant to give away 50 kilograms of cold iron starry cloud stone. Her beautiful big eyes stared straight at it. The others also swallowed their saliva. This was cold iron starry cloud stone. Not to mention 50 kilograms, even 500 kilograms could make an invincible king excited. After all, this was a material for refining a half-step saint tool. Lin Xian saw Qingwu's reluctant look and felt funny. He said, I have no use for this thing. Why don't I trade with you? Take out whatever you have and I'll trade with you. Really? You're willing to trade with me for cold iron starry cloud stone? After hearing this, Qingwu exclaimed. This kind of Sister Han lucky stone was not only precious, but also rare. Even if someone had it, they wouldn't take it out easily. This time, if the Poison King wasn't overconfident, he wouldn't have used it as a wager. She didn't expect that in the end, it would benefit Lin Xian. And now, Lin Xian actually took it out for a trade. Damn it, does this guy know how precious this thing is? Qingwu rolled her eyes. The surrounding people also let out cries of surprise. That Lin Gongzi, can we also trade some? A few geniuses in the surroundings whispered. Their eyes were filled with anticipation. Lin Xian nodded. Sure, as long as you can take out something that satisfies me. Indeed, Lin Xian didn't really need it, although it was very precious. He had the blazing Qilin sword, which was enough for him. As for armor, he didn't need it at all. His 9-yang divine body was better than any armor, unless it was a sage's weapon. However, he couldn't use that kind of thing now. As for half-step sage artifacts, Lin Xian had 2 or 3 of them, which was enough. Moreover, he could use the great dragon sword soul to evolve all kinds of divine abilities. In addition, now that he had the plenilin seed, he could observe the great Tao of heaven and earth. When the time came, the power of the plenilin seed would definitely surpass that of a half-step sage artifact. It would be better to trade for some natural treasures or elixirs, which would be more effective for him. Let me say this first, you don't need to give me weapons, cultivation techniques, or secret manuals. I don't need them for the time being. It would be best if you could give me some king herbs or special divine crystals. Of course, natural treasures for recovery and cultivation would be even better. I won't refuse any of them. I have 2 king herbs. How many can you give me? Qingwu took out 2 king herbs in an instant. As soon as the 2 king herbs appeared, the spiritual energy in the surroundings instantly became rich. The eyes of the geniuses turned red. King herbs, these are good things. Lin Xian was surprised. He didn't expect this little girl to be so rich. She took out 2 king herbs in one go. He nodded. Okay, 1 king herb can be exchanged for 10 kilograms. 2 king herbs can be exchanged for 10 kilograms of frost iron starry cloud stone. Qingwu thought for a moment, and felt that the value was about the same. She said, I'll trade. Wait, I have something else. This is half a kilogram of mutated fire-type divine crystal. My brother got it from the outer realm. It's called the Starry Sky Flame Divine Crystal. I'll give you 10 kilograms of frost iron starry cloud stone. How about it? Mutated fire-type divine crystal. Lin Xian's eyes lit up. This thing would be of great help to him cultivating the 9 yang divine fire and comprehending fire-type techniques. He immediately nodded. Okay, what else do you have? He was looking forward to it. Qing Wu searched again and then took out a jade bottle about half the size of a palm. Inside the jade bottle was bright red blood. A drop of the blood essence of an invincible peak golden flame beast king far surpassed all the blood of other invincible kings. I'll give you 10 kilograms. How about it? Chapter 3073. Lin Xian thought for a while and then said, 10 caddies. Damn it, you're lucky! Qing Wu snorted. In the end, Qing Wu exchanged for 25 caddies, while Lin Xian put away 2 king herbs, a caddy of mutant fire elemental divine crystals, and half a bottle of invincible perfect beast king's blood essence. This little girl understood him quite well. She would always give him something to make him angry. Seeing that Qing Wu had finished exchanging, the others were tempted. They also began to take out treasures and prepared to exchange. However, at this moment, Zhong Linxiu's red lips opened slightly. A great way scripture of the sage's enlightenment. It was left behind by the ancient sage of the Daoi Holy Land, recording the process of how he became a sage from an invincible king. As soon as these words came out, everyone exclaimed. Lin Xian's eyelids also twitched wildly. This was good stuff. But how could she be willing to take it out? As if sensing the fiery eyes of the people around and Lin Lingxuan's shock, Zhong Linxiu said lightly. It's not a complete book. It's an incomplete book, only up to the half-saint level. I'll give you the remaining 25 caddies, how about that? It turned out that it was only at the half-saint level. Many people breathed a sigh of relief. Lin Xian also came to a realization. No wonder she dared to take it out. However, even at the half-saint level, it was already very impressive. The Daoi Holy Land was already very terrifying and mysterious. They were born with a special connection with the Tao. In such a holy land, the notes left behind by an ancient sage would definitely be of great benefit. It was too important for him to comprehend the great way of heaven and earth. Although it was only at the half-saint level, it was still extremely precious. Therefore, Lin Xian did not hesitate to give the remaining 25 caddies to Zhong Linxiu. Zhong Linxiu took out a scroll and handed it to Lin Xian. Lin Xian carefully put it away. The others around sighed. They did not expect the last 25 caddies to be taken by Zhong Linxiu. However, there was no other way. The things she took out were good. The great way scripture of the sage's enlightenment was definitely priceless. Some people in the union were drooling. Lin Xian smiled at the crowd. Since the things had been distributed, he would take his leave. Let's work together next time. After saying that, his figure flashed and left. Qing Wu and Zhong Linxiu accepted the cold iron meteorite with great satisfaction and left. The others had regretful looks on their faces. However, when they thought of the previous battle, it was as if they had been injected with chicken blood. They hurriedly spread the news. Yes, let everyone know that we won. In an instant, the crowd quickly spread out. Soon, all the Sky Prides in the outstanding warrior manor knew about this battle. Not only that, some of them even spread the news to the outer space. It could be said that it had caused quite a stir. This was also the first time Ling Xian's name had been heard on the ancient Road of the Stars. On the other side, Lin Xian returned to the courtyard. He raised his hand and set up the array formation. Then, he took out the Great Path Enlightenment Sutra excitedly. The Crimson Dragon also came out. It looked at the Great Tao Insight Sutra and drooled. This was really good stuff. He did not expect Zhong Linxiu, this girl, to be willing to take it out. Let me see if the Tao One Holy Ground is as mysterious as the rumors say. Lin Xian opened the scroll and studied it with the Crimson Dragon. 1 day, 2 days, 3 days. 5 days later, Lin Xian sighed. He had to admit that this was an incomparably precious enlightenment. Many things that he did not understand before were now enlightened. Indeed, this great Tao Insight Sutra recorded the growth experience and enlightenment of a saint. It was incomparably precious to a cultivator. Lin Xian was very lucky to be able to obtain it. He guessed that Zhong Lingxiu should be in great need of that metal to refine a kind of treasure. Otherwise, she would not have taken it out. The Great Tao Insight Sutra was not a cultivation technique, nor was it a secret manual. It was a record of a kind of enlightenment. This kind of enlightenment could allow Lin Xian to better understand the great Tao of heaven and earth. When Lin Xian used the Tianji Divine Eye and Plenilin Seed to observe the great Tao of heaven and earth again, he was even more enlightened than before. Of course, he knew that observing the great Tao of heaven and earth was a very long and lifelong thing. Lin Xian did not intend to achieve it overnight. The competition between the four great winds was getting closer and closer. Lin Xian decided to comprehend and improve the two types of power he had just comprehended, which were close to the Tao. Next, Lin Xian began to cultivate in seclusion. This time, even if the outside world spread rumors, he would not hear it. He sat cross-legged in the courtyard. Under his feet was a spirit gathering array, which was set up by Crimson Shinong. Around the spirit gathering array were treasures of heaven and earth, king herbs, and mutated fire elemental divine crystals. These things were placed in the spirit gathering array. Through the changes of the spirit gathering array, they provided Lin Xian with energy. Lin Xian cultivated. Lin Xian, on the other hand, was comprehending the scripture of enlightenment, while cultivating his two new powers. In the blink of an eye, another 2 months had passed. There was still a month before the final competition. In the past 2 months, the extraordinary warrior mansion could be said to be quite excited. The news that Lin Xian had defeated the Heavenly Clouds mansion and defeated the Poisoned King had completely spread. At first, everyone was shocked and couldn't believe it, thinking that it was fake news. Later, they were sure, surprised, and excited. It could be said that they experienced a very complicated mood. Everyone knew that Lin Xian was incredible. He was definitely a prodigy and a dark horse. His strength had improved compared to before. It seemed that he would definitely be able to shine in this competition. In the extraordinary warrior mansion, where would he rank? It was hard to say. He probably wouldn't be able to enter the top 5. Yes, he ranked second in the Full Moon Peak, and Huangfu Beitian, who ranked first, only ranked 5th in the extraordinary warrior mansion. That was indeed the case. The Full Moon Peak was at the bottom. Even Huangfu Beitian, who ranked first, couldn't enter the top 4. Although Lin Xian was strong, he was still a little worse than Huangfu Beitian. He might be able to rank in the top 10. That's right. Last time, Mo seemed to be ranked 9th. He defeated Mo, so his strength should be 6th or 7th. But it would be difficult to get to the top. The people of the Full Moon Peak sighed. That's right. Mo was so strong, but he was only ranked 9th in the extraordinary warrior mansion. Huangfu Beitian, who ranked first, was only ranked 5th. Therefore, even though Lin Xian had displayed great strength and talent, he was still a genius. He even obtained the Full Moon Wordless Steel, but it was only a few months after all. It was not enough for Lin Xian's strength to change dramatically. So this time, in everyone's opinion, Lin Xian would only be in the top 10. It was basically impossible for him to get into the top 5. With the appearance of those geniuses who were in seclusion, a new round of storm came. What? Jun Wuya had another breakthrough in comprehending the ethereal steel. Many people exclaimed. Jun Wuya, ranked 2nd in the Misty Peak, and 4th in the extraordinary warrior mansion. His strength was above Huangfu Beitian. This time, the other party had made new progress in comprehending the Misty Sky Steel. It was likely that his strength would undergo an earth-shattering change. Chapter 3074. Shui Ji, you have returned from the blood-refining planet? Damn it, this woman was a lunatic. She definitely had the strength to compete for the top 5 this time. Shui Jiu, Ling Long Feng, ranked 2nd. She was a terrifying woman who cultivated in the blood-refining mountain all year round. The blood-refining planet was not under the jurisdiction of the extraordinary warrior mansion. It was an ownerless planet not far from the extraordinary warrior mansion. This planet was too dangerous. It was a place where no one cared about. There were battles every day and geniuses fell every day. It was extremely dangerous. Ordinary geniuses like the Extraordinary Warrior Mansion and the Heavenly Clouds Mansion would not go to such a place. Only those ambitious and ruthless people, perverts, lunatics, and those who had offended others from other planets could survive there. Shui Jiu had been there all year round. She was definitely a terrifying lunatic. Amo Tian was also incredible. It was said that he had found the remains of a half-step saint and obtained a lot of good things. Amo Tian ranked second on the Divine Tactics Mountain and seventh on the Extraordinary Warrior Mansion. It seemed that this time, he was also a popular candidate for the top 5. These were all top figures. Their fortuitous encounters and the changes in their strength were enough to cause a storm in the Extraordinary Warrior Mansion. The full moon peak was also not calm because Mo had also returned. Mo did not choose the Extraordinary Warrior Mansion to cultivate in seclusion this time, but another planet. It was called the Fallen Abyss Star. It was said that this planet was ruled by a demonic sect. The entire planet was filled with terrifying demons. However, a peerless expert passed by and killed all the demons in this world. That place became a purgatory on Earth. It could be said that it was a place with monstrous demonic chi. Those half-step saints were not willing to go there. This place was where Mo cultivated in seclusion. Mo had made up his mind this time because he'd suffered 2 consecutive blows during the ranking competition on Full Moon Peak. First, he'd lost to Huangfu Beitian, then he'd lost to Lin Xian, and this was something he couldn't accept. In particular, Lin Xian had successfully comprehended the full moon worth of steel, which stimulated Mo even more. Therefore, Mo disregarded everything and even risked his life to go to the fallen abyss. It was all for the sake of improving himself. After a few months of inhuman torture and some fortuitous encounters, his strength had finally undergone earth-shaking changes. He even obtained a broken treasure of the demonic sect, the demonic flag. Once he used the demonic chess set and added the power of his bloodline, he could reach 65,000 Archean power. Although it couldn't compare to the North Yao, it should be enough to deal with Huangfu Beitian and Lin Xian. Damn brat, just you wait. This time, I will defeat you in front of everyone. I will let everyone know that I, Mo, am the strongest. Black Demon grinned hideously. Demonic chi surged from his body as he returned to the full moon peak. The aura he brought with him alarmed the prodigies on the Plenilin B. Mo was back. His aura was so powerful. Damn it, what had he gone through? How could his strength increase so quickly? I heard that he fell into the abyss. It couldn't be. That place had a high chance of survival. Even a half-saint wouldn't want to go there. Who would have thought that the Black Demon would dare to go? No wonder his strength had increased so quickly. Everyone was shocked. Black Demon returned. He shouted confidently and arrogantly. Where are Huangfu Beitian and Lin Xian? Tell them to come out. I will let them know who is the strongest person on the full moon peak. Everyone's expression changed when they heard that. They didn't expect that the first thing the Black Demon did after returning was to fight Huangfu Beitian and Lin Xian. However, it was understandable. After all, the Black Demon was such a proud person, but he had been defeated by the 2 of them. Now that his strength had increased greatly, he naturally wanted to take revenge. Huangfu Beitian hadn't come out of seclusion yet, right? How much had his strength increased? Lin Xian should also be in seclusion. However, it wouldn't be easy for the Black Demon to defeat Lin Xian. Yes, Lin Xian had defeated the Poison King a few months ago. His strength was absolutely terrifying. Even if the Black Demon's strength had increased greatly, he might not be a match for him. After the Black Demon returned, he found that Huangfu Beitian and Lin Xian were both in seclusion. This made him very unhappy. Could it be that he had to wait until the competition to deal with these 2 people? Thinking about it, he revealed a trace of malevolence. Fine, he would defeat these 2 people in front of everyone in the competition. The Black Demon had already imagined that scene in his mind. He would step on Huangfu Beitian and punch Lin Xian, showing off his strength. Thinking of this, he laughed complacently. This kind of scene was really exciting. However, half a day later, his face was gloomy, and his body was covered in monstrous demonic energy. Because he heard a rumor. This rumor was spread from the mouths of several martial artists. They said that he challenged Lin Xian and was in danger? There was almost no chance of winning. Damn it, how was this possible? Even if that kid was talented, his strength definitely didn't increase as fast as his. He entered the falling abyss this time, and narrowly escaped death. That was why his strength increased greatly. It was really for revenge. That kid was only in seclusion and comprehending some things. How could he be stronger than him? What a joke! He didn't believe it at all. A bunch of idiots, what did they know? How could my strength increase be imagined by you? If you talk nonsense again, I'll kill you! The black demon walked between the full moon peak and roared coldly at the geniuses who were discussing. Those geniuses felt their scalps go numb. Just the aura emitted by the black demon was enough to make them collapse. However, since Lin Xian represented the extraordinary warrior mansion and defeated the genius of the Heavenly Clouds mansion, Xian Yun, and the Poison King, he had won a group of followers. Many of them were afraid of the black demon, but they still supported Lin Xian. One of the female geniuses was extremely beautiful. Even though her face was pale, she could not help but mutter softly, "That's right. What's wrong with that? Although you're powerful, Lin Gongzi also defeated the Poison King. That's right, Lin Gongzi's strength is super strong. He might not lose." Another female martial artist also discussed in a low voice. What? What did you say? He defeated the Poison King? The black demon's hearing was very strong. Although the two female geniuses whispered, he still heard them clearly. When he heard the news, the black demon's first reaction was that it was impossible. What a joke! How could that kid defeat the Poison King? He knew that the Poison King was a genius of the Heavenly Clouds mansion, and he was an expert in using poison. The Poison King's divine ability was strange and impossible to guard against. If a King Realm cultivator was careless, there was no way to cure his poison. Especially when the Poison King had the 7-colored centipede. Even a half-step saint would be seriously injured if they were bitten by it. He felt his scalp go numb when he saw such a person. In the past, he couldn't defeat the Poison King at all. Now, even if his strength had increased greatly, he didn't dare to fight the Poison King easily. Could Lin Xian defeat such an existence? He didn't believe it. Chapter 3075. After all, he had been cultivating outside and had not seen the previous battle. Now, he only heard about it from these people. How could he believe it? He knew that these people would exaggerate when they talked about it. Therefore, he would not take this kind of rumor seriously. Damn kid, I didn't expect that in the few months I was away, he would swindle people again. Well, when he comes out, I'll teach him a lesson in public during the competition. I'll trample on this kid in front of all the elders and sect members. Hei Mo snorted coldly and turned to leave. Hei Mo's powerful return not only caused a stir in the full moon peak, but also in the other peaks. After all, his return from the fallen abyss was really eye-catching. As the day of the competition approached, the sky prides of the 4 peaks came out of seclusion, especially the top 3. When they heard that Hei Mo had returned from the fallen abyss, they were very surprised. Hei Mo really doesn't care about his life. In order to improve his strength, he went to such a place. It seems that his strength has increased greatly this time. He's a strong enemy. Many people's eyes flickered, and they clenched their fists. After all, Hei Mo was ranked 9th last time. This time, his strength had increased again. They were afraid that he wanted to reach the top 5. I wonder how Huangfu Beitian is doing? There's also Lin Xian. Huangfu Beitian was ranked 1st in the Full Moon Peak and 5th in the Extraordinary Scholar Mansion. He was very powerful and could not be underestimated. He was very likely to reach the top 3 this time. As for Lin Xian, he was even more amazing. They had seen with their own eyes that he had successfully comprehended the full moon wordless stele. He was a genius that was hard to come by in 10,000 years. However, although he was talented, these sky prides did not take him seriously for the time being. It was not easy to successfully comprehend the full moon wordless stele. Although Lin Xian had the opportunity to comprehend it, it would be impossible for him to succeed without a few hundred years. In just a few months, it would be difficult for his strength to change dramatically. Even if he did, he would not surpass them. However, they were soon stunned. Because they learned that when they were in seclusion, the heavenly cloud mansion sent sky prides to challenge them. One of them was called Xian Yun. He was very powerful and defeated the geniuses of the extraordinary scholar mansion. If it were not for Qin Wu and Zhong Linxiu, the extraordinary scholar mansion would not have one. What happened next? The geniuses of the Four Peaks had ugly expressions on their faces. Damn it, these guys actually dared to attack us while we were in seclusion. When the time comes, we'll definitely pay them a visit and get our revenge. In their opinion, this time, their extraordinary warrior's mansion had definitely lost their face and returned with a great defeat. However, the result was once again beyond their expectations. From the mouths of the surrounding martial artists, they found out that their outstanding scholar manner didn't lose this time, but instead won. Not only did he get back at Xian Yun in the end, he even made the arrogant Xian Yun apologize and cripple his own arms. What was going on? The geniuses who were in seclusion asked quickly. Soon they heard a name. Lin Xian. At the critical moment, it was Lin Xian who made a forceful move, defeating Xian Yun. Damn it, this brat's strength is actually so strong? These people were surprised, but what was even more shocking was still to come. What did you say? Not only did that brat defeat Xian Yun, he even defeated the Poison King. Which Poison King? Chen Ke from the Heavenly Clouds Mansion? Impossible! Chen Ke's strength was extremely terrifying, especially with the 7-colored centipede in his hands. Ordinary people would not be willing to fight with him at all. Even invincible kings would be killed. He would be injured for half of his life. What? You saw it with your own eyes? I won't believe it even if you beat me to death. Lin Xian can't possibly defeat such a person. Unless I saw it with my own eyes. These geniuses who were in seclusion all shook their heads in disbelief. This news was too shocking, and they couldn't accept it immediately. The North Demon also received this news and frowned. He directly summoned Qing Wu to his side. Sister, what's going on? Are the rumors outside true? Qing Wu immediately told the North Demon everything that had happened a few months ago. After the North Demon heard this, his expression was incomparably solemn. The joy of increasing his strength from his seclusion also vanished. In that case, the Poison King was really defeated by Lin Xian. This Lin Xian even comprehended 2 extremely terrifying powers. The North Demon took a deep breath. He didn't expect that the shocking news outside was actually true. But how was this possible? How could Lin Xian possibly defeat the Poison King? What were those 2 mysterious powers? Could it be that kind of power? The North Demon thought of a possibility, and then his pupils constricted. Impossible, it was impossible for him to comprehend that kind of power so quickly. He was too shocked. He had the 10,000 monster body, and his talent was extremely terrifying, but he still spent more than 100 years to comprehend that kind of power. How could Lin Xian comprehend it in just a few months? However, no matter what, Lin Xian was a peerless enemy. This time, he definitely had the strength to enter the top 5, or even the top 3. Others might not believe it, but the North Demon had to treat it seriously. Descendant of the Great Dragon, let me see just how strong you really are. The North Demon took a deep breath and waited for the final battle. Yu Linglong and Han Fei also came out of seclusion. When they heard the news, they didn't quite believe it. In their opinion, the rumors were exaggerated. Therefore, they didn't pay too much attention to it. Although Lin Xian was strong, he was still not a match for them. It was still uncertain whether or not he could defeat Huangfu Beitian. After Huangfu Beitian came out of seclusion, he was also shocked when he heard the news. When he heard the news about the black demon, he also took a deep breath, and a biting cold light burst out of his eyes. Black demon? He was courting death. His goal this time was not the black demon, but to enter the top 3. He had to enter the top 3. The day of the competition was getting closer and closer. There were only 10 days left, and everyone was making their final preparations. In the mountains there was a courtyard that took up a lot of space. There were birds chirping and flowers fragrant, and it was like a paradise. The entire courtyard was enveloped by a peerless array formation. Lin Xian sat cross-legged in the array formation. The king herbs, divine crystals, and natural treasures in the spirit-gathering array beside him had all dimmed. He had absorbed all the energy in the array formation. Lin Xian had a scroll beside him. Golden light flickered in his eyes, and a terrifying power surged from his body. "Kid, you're awake?" The Crimson Dragon saw Lin Xian stand up and flew over from the other side of the courtyard. Lin Xian stood up and stretched his body. His body made crackling sounds, and his body shone with boundless light that shot into the sky. "What time is it?" he asked. There were still 10 days before the competition. 10 days? It was not too late. Lin Xian nodded. "How's it going outside?" "Those guys outside have all come out of seclusion, and so has the black demon. As soon as he came out, he clamored to challenge you. But at that time, you were in seclusion, so he kept quiet after 2 days." "The black demon?" Lin Xian shook his head slightly. He did not take it seriously. Indeed, he did not take it seriously because no matter what changes the other party had made, he was no longer a match for him. In the past few months, his understanding of Tao had deepened. As for his strength, it was also rapidly increasing. All of this was thanks to the scripture of enlightenment that Zhong Lingxiu gave him. Chapter 3076. This thing might not be of much use in the hands of other invincible kings because they had not reached that level, and could not comprehend it. But to Lin Xian, this was simply a heaven-sent opportunity. Lin Xian needed this kind of enlightenment right now. It could be said that this great Tao enlightenment scripture had saved Lin Xian a few hundred years of detours. Because of this great Tao enlightenment scripture, Lin Xian comprehended something that would have taken hundreds of years to comprehend in a few months. Perhaps even Zhong Lingxiu would not have thought of this. The 2 powers that were close to Tao had increased once again. His understanding and application of these 2 powers had become more thorough. Of course, their power had also increased by several times. If he were to fight with the Poison King again, he could defeat him in 1 move. Because he could make his opponent collapse with just 1 move, annihilation. This was the power that was close to Tao. Not only that, Lin Xian also combined this power with his sword technique, and even combined it with the heavenly secret God Eye and Dragon Sword Soul. The Dragon Sword Soul was magical. Not only could it increase the power of sword chi, but it could also increase the power of all mystiques. The power that was close to Tao was already very strong. If it was combined with the Dragon Sword Soul, its power would be even more terrifying. By using 2 powers that were close to Tao, Lin Xian could reach 70,000 Archean power. Once combined with the Dragon Sword Soul, it would be even more terrifying. This was definitely a terrifying battle strength that had probably surpassed the North Demon. Of course, Lin Xian was just guessing because he had not seen the North Demon in action. It was just his speculation. Other than the North Demon, Lin Xian did not care about anyone else, let alone the Hamo. What would be the reward from the House of Prodigy this time? It would be best if it was related to comprehending the laws of heaven and earth. Now, he was more and more delighted with the laws. He felt that this was true power. Only by mastering this power would he be a true expert. He had to comprehend the laws as soon as possible and reach the sage realm. Next, Lin Xian adjusted his state to keep himself in peak condition so that he could deal with the upcoming competition. Finally, the day had arrived. The outstanding scholar manor was in an uproar. Countless elders of the Heaven sect cheered because this was a golden age for them. They were about to witness the rise of a prodigy. This time, the outstanding scholar Manor had opened the ancient battle platform, using the grandest scale to hold this competition. The geniuses of the House of Prodigy had arrived early, and were waiting anxiously. Those elders also chuckled as they came to the clouds, sat down cross-legged, and looked down. He wondered how many amazing fellows would soar to the heavens this time. Did you hear that Junwea had a breakthrough again? That's right. This guy's talent was also terrifying. He was second only to the Northern Demon. The first place of each of the 4 peaks was terrifying. Apart from that, the second and third place of each of the 4 peaks were terrifying too. Apart from Junwea, there was also that monstrous genius, who was also an incredible figure. Yes, there was also that black demon. It was said that he went to the fallen abyss and came back successfully. After returning, his strength had increased greatly. It seemed that he would be able to shine this time as well. These elders discussed spiritedly, but 2 of them shook their heads. What I'm looking forward to the most is not these people, but that little fellow called Lin Xian. This little guy was really something. A few months ago, he had defeated the Poison King and displayed a power that was close to the Tao. He wondered what kind of improvement he would get this time. A power that was close to the Tao. 6th Elder, 7th Elder, the 2 of you, don't talk nonsense. Although that little kid had started to comprehend the moon-gazing wordless steel, how long had it been? How could he have comprehended it completely? He probably couldn't even grasp the slightest bit of it. That's right. We might not even be able to control the great Tao of heaven and earth. How could that kid do it? The other elders shook their heads in disbelief. The 7th Elder and the 6th Elder, who were the 2 elders who secretly watched Lin Xian's competition, were so angry that their beards were sticking up. I say, are you guys doubting our words? Why? Could it be that the old man was lying? The 2 elders were extremely agitated. The other elders said. They didn't know if he was lying, but it was possible that he was bragging. You said that the kid had a power that was close to the Tao. That was clearly a joke. How dare you doubt me? Do you dare to make a bet with me? These 2 elders are very angry at you. What did they mean? Did they not believe them? Or did they not believe Lin Xian? What a joke! They had seen it with their own eyes. Could it be fake? They didn't see it with their own eyes. I won't believe it. The other elders shook their heads. After all, the matter was too shocking. They didn't dare to believe it at all. The 2 sides gradually quarreled, and at this time, the 1st elder walked over and said in a deep voice, All right, you guys are already a few thousand years old. Aren't you afraid of being laughed at by the people below? Hearing this, the 6th elder and the 7th elder snorted coldly, and the other elders' faces were also ashen. The 1st elder said with a smile, We will soon know whether that little guy can comprehend the power that is close to the Tao. Why are you quarreling here? Let me see what that kid is capable of. I'll bet with you. 6th elder, 7th elder, when the 2 of you lose, don't deny it. Many elders sneered. The 2 elders shouted coldly, Let's bet with poison, who's afraid of who? When the 1st elder saw the elders behind him quarreling again, he shook his head and ignored them. His gaze scanned the surroundings. He wondered to what extent that little fellow's strength had grown to. He had heard about the previous incident, but he didn't see it with his own eyes, so he didn't believe it completely. Below, the ancient arena was emitting an unparalleled light, and there were countless formations around the arena, which were divided into 5 areas. Each area had clouds formed by formations, floating in the clouds for the elders and disciples to observe. The 4 peaks occupied 4 areas, and the last area was reserved for the main hall of the House of Prodigies. Apart from the 4 peaks, there were other elders and experts in the House of Prodigies. They didn't interfere with the matters of the 4 peaks, but were above the 4 peaks, leading the entire House of Prodigies. It was said that even the House of Prodigies would participate in this event. The geniuses participating in the competition were extremely excited. If they were chosen by the House of Prodigies and were accepted as a disciple, they would soar into the sky. Therefore, everyone wanted to perform well. The elders and genius spectators of the 4 peaks had arrived. The geniuses participating in the competition also arrived, a total of 40 people. They were the top 10 of the 4 peaks. Yi Fei, Xue Ling, and the others from the full moon peak had arrived, each of them emitting a sharp aura. Buzz! A monstrous demonic aura rolled in, turning into a peerless demon king that descended from the sky. A black demonic figure walked out from it. Such a terrifying demonic aura! It's the Black Demon. His aura was even more terrifying than before. Chapter 3077. This Hamo was incredible. He was able to come out of the abyss. This meant that he had become extremely powerful. Everyone looked down at the demon-like figure and exclaimed in surprise. After Hamo arrived, he glanced at Yi Fei and the others and snorted coldly. Xue Ling snorted and Yi Fei looked solemn. However, when they sensed Hamo's aura, they sighed helplessly. The difference was too great. Hamo's aura made their hair stand on end. This was only the aura that Hamo had released. If he hadn't used his trump card, they wouldn't have been able to resist him. Hamo was already so terrifying. They wondered how strong Huangfu Beitian and Lin Xian had become. Yi Fei, Xue Ling, and the others were looking forward to it. Look, it's Mo Tian! Another exclamation was heard. On the horizon, a man in silver armor flew over. He looked extraordinary, and his aura wasn't any weaker than Hamo's. In fact, he was even stronger. Mo Tian, ranked second in the Divine Strategy Peak. The moment he appeared, the martial artists on the Divine Strategy Peak screamed and cheered. Mo turned to look at the man in silver armor and snorted coldly. Demonic aura surged from his body and his eyes were filled with hostility. Mo Tian also looked at Mo, but he soon retracted his gaze and looked to the side. After Mo Tian, a few more figures quickly descended. They were all top prodigies who were participating in the competition. Among them, there was a woman who was very eye-catching. She was dressed in red and a sea of blood surged around her. She looked like an Azura as she descended from the sky. Her powerful killing intent made the faces of the prodigies turn pale. Who is this beauty? Why does she look so terrifying? Some of the newcomers felt their scalps go numb. Lower your voice. She is Shui Jiu. She is very violent, and will kill you if she doesn't agree with you. Don't let her hear you. She is the second in the exquisite peak, Shui Jiu. Everyone was shocked. It was said that this woman was very terrifying and cultivated the Tao of slaughter. After Shui Jiu arrived, she looked at Mo and Mo Tian with a smile on her face. The sea of blood around her rumbled and occupied a large area by itself. Damn it, this woman! Mo's face was gloomy. Although his body was surging with demonic aura, he felt that the blood in his body was being affected by the sea of blood. Mo Tian frowned as well. He was also affected by the blood sea. With a cold snort, the armor on his body shone even brighter. The three of them stood there. Even though they had yet to make a move, their auras were already clashing with one another. The surrounding geniuses retreated hastily, their faces pale. Damn it, these top-notch experts are too terrifying. That's right, we're no match for him. Yi Fei, Xue Ling, and the others shook their heads and smiled bitterly. 1. All of a sudden, the starlight in the sky flickered, blocking the terrifying sea of blood. A man descended from the sky. His aura was extraordinary, as if he was a supreme king descending upon the earth. Such a domineering aura. Jun Wuya. It was Jun Wuya, ranked second in the Misty Peak. This man carried with him an unparalleled domineering aura as he forcefully descended, breaking through the sea of blood. Shui Jiu's eyes erupted with a blood-red light as she stared at this figure. Interesting, I didn't expect your strength to increase so much. I'll have to experience it later. Shui Jianhua spoke, making everyone feel dizzy, as if they couldn't endure this slaughter. However, Jun Wuya wasn't affected at all. He displayed the domineering aura of heaven and earth and stood with his hands behind his back, looking down at the world. The surrounding geniuses on the clouds were all extremely excited. The elders were also excited. These days, the heavenly sects had already started to go against each other. The smell of gunpowder had already filled the air before the battle. When the time comes, the battle would definitely be exciting. Almost everyone was here, except for the top of the 4 peaks. That's right, Lin Xian wasn't here either. Almost everyone else was here. That's right, more than 30 geniuses had already arrived. They gathered together and discussed, or stood alone. Their auras were awe-inspiring. In short, they were all waiting. 1. At this moment, a saber light streaked across the sky, and a majestic man descended below. Huangfu Beitian was here. Someone cried out in alarm, and everyone turned to look at the source of the cry. The dancers of the full moon peak screamed. Huangfu Beitian was the top of the full moon peak. They wondered how much his strength had increased this time. Was he here? Black Demon snorted. He clenched his fists. Amo Tian and Shui Jiyue also turned their heads. Only Jun Wuya snorted, but he also glanced to the side. The person who had arrived was Huangfu Beitian. He was wearing a long robe and carrying a saber on his back. There was no expression on his face. After he arrived, his gaze swept across the 30 geniuses. Everyone felt their bodies tense as if they had been cut by a saber. In the end, his gaze stopped on one person. That person was Jun Wuya. This guy is arrogant. How dare he ignore me? Shui Jiyue raised her blood-red eyebrows slightly, and a cruel smile appeared on her face. Amo Tian didn't say anything, but he also frowned. Black Demon was trembling with anger. Damn it, he was also ignored. Huangfu Beitian, don't be so arrogant. I'll let you know how powerful I am during the battle later. Black Demon was going crazy. I can feel that your 9-layered Thunder Saber has improved again, but you're still not my match. Jun Wuya still stood with his hands behind his back. It's useless to argue. Let's fight on the stage later. Huangfu Beitian said coldly. Next, the geniuses didn't say anything and continued to wait patiently. They were waiting for the remaining 3 geniuses. Soon, Han Fei also arrived. Han Fei wore a purple armor and descended from the sky like a deity. As soon as he arrived, he attracted the attention of countless people. This time, even Jun Wuya couldn't remain calm. His eyes were filled with a domineering aura. Shui Jiyue, Black Demon, Huangfu Beitian, and the others were the same. The surrounding geniuses were excited and screamed. Han Fei was the first in Divine Tactics Peak and the third in Extraordinary Scholar Manor. Han Fei's arrival caused countless people to scream. His gaze swept over everyone in the surroundings and quickly retracted. He didn't even look at Jun Wuya for too long. Buzz! Between heaven and earth, colorful clouds danced, and a peerless woman descended from the sky. Yu Linglong. The crowd screamed, and many of them had red eyes. She's so beautiful. Everyone says that Qing Wu is the first beauty, but I think Yu Linglong is more charming. Lower your voice. How dare you have designs on Yu Linglong? She's second only to the North Demon. Indeed, not only was Yu Linglong beautiful, but she was also extremely powerful. She was the second in Extraordinary Scholar Manor, second only to the North Demon. Yu Linglong's arrival made Han Fei feel like he was facing a great enemy. Yu Linglong was much calmer. She stood there like a fairy, attracting countless gazes. Boom! But not long after, everyone's gaze moved away from her and looked into the distance. That was because someone else had arrived. Chapter 3078. This time, it was a tall and slender man with a face as white as a demon's. He was unbelievably handsome. Northern Goblin! Everyone exclaimed, and the elders looked solemn. Northern Goblin was the number 1 in their extraordinary goblin mansion. He had the 1,000 goblin body and was extremely powerful. Suppressing all the heroes, no one was his match. Northern Goblin looked calm as he walked in the air. Beside him was a girl in green. She was unparalleled in this world. She was his younger sister, Qing Wu. The two of them were as light as a feather, descending like smoke. You're here. Yu Linglong opened her red lips and said in a pleasant voice. Han Fei's eyes were like a purple lamp that burned fiercely. Huangfu Beitian, Jun Wuya, and the others stared at the figure. The person in front of them was like a huge mountain, blocking their path and making them look up at him. Northern Goblin looked at the crowd with a smile and nodded slightly. His gaze did not change. His demeanor showed that he didn't care about anyone else at all. Qing Wu, who was beside him, looked around with her big black eyes as if she was looking for someone. That arrogant guy really didn't come. I knew it. There was a cute girl in the crowd. She looked anxious and muttered in a low voice. Why isn't Big Brother Lin Xian here yet? The competition is about to start. That guy hasn't come yet. Northern Goblin looked around and said indifferently. His words attracted everyone's attention. Who hasn't come yet? The first place of the 4 peaks has already arrived. No, there's still one person who hasn't arrived. It's Lin Xian. Lin Xian hasn't arrived yet. There was a sudden clap of thunder, and everyone was in an uproar. They looked around carefully, but didn't find Lin Xian's figure. Why hasn't that guy come yet? Could it be that he hasn't come out of seclusion? That guy can't be, right? He'll miss the competition if he doesn't come. Huangfu Baitian's eyes flickered and he did not speak. Shui Yuetian also sneered. This guy is really arrogant. He actually dares to come later than Northern Goblin. Jun Wuya also snorted coldly. Han Fei did not speak. Yu Linglong said indifferently. She heard that Lin Gongzi fought with the people of Heavenly Cloud's mansion a few months ago, and it was said that he even defeated the Poison King. I wonder how high his strength is. As soon as these words were spoken, the surrounding people were in an uproar and began to discuss spiritedly. Jun Wuya and the others sneered. They did not believe in such a legend. Who was the Poison King? They knew very well that Lin Xian couldn't beat him. What a joke! Hei Mo's expression was cold. This reckless brat was really courting death. While everyone was discussing and waiting, a red-robed figure appeared in the sky and quickly walked over. Lin Xian was here. Everyone cried out in surprise, and the elders also turned their heads to look. Lin Xian was dressed in red, and his expression was calm. He walked over. There was no light on his body, nor was there any terrifying aura. He was just like an ordinary handsome boy next door. Beside him, the Crimson Dragon was baring its fangs and brandishing its claws. Whoosh! Lin Xian's speed was very fast. Using ground shrink, he arrived at the edge of the stage in a few steps. He fell behind and said with a smile, I'm not too late, right? Damn brat, you finally came out? I thought you didn't dare to come! Demonic chi exploded from Hei Mo's body as he stared at the figure in front of him. Dugu Jian's eyes were also like sabers as he looked over. At this moment, Yu Linglong, Han Fei, Jun Wuya, Shui Jiyue, and the others all looked over. The North Demon also looked over. Countless geniuses' gazes were all focused on Lin Xian. The elders sucked in a breath of cold air. Being the center of attention of so many peak-level geniuses was a huge amount of pressure. Indeed, just this pressure alone was enough to crush an invincible king. Even a powerful invincible king would have to use all his strength to deal with it. However, what puzzled them was that Lin Xian was still expressionless. There was no aura fluctuation coming from his body. Just like that, he treated it calmly. When all the gazes landed on him, they quickly dissipated without a trace. Everyone was shocked. They didn't dare to believe it. They originally wanted to show Lin Xian who was stronger than them. After all, they were all top geniuses, but Lin Xian had arrived later than the North Demon. He was too arrogant. This made them very unhappy. However, they didn't expect their gazes and pressure to be useless. Deliberately mystifying. Jun Wuya snorted coldly. Yu Linglong frowned. What a mysterious brat. I wonder how strong he is? I can't see through him. Han Fei's eyes flashed with purple light as he frowned. The North Demon kept looking. Lin Xian said with a smile. What's so special about the moon-gazing wordless steel? I wonder how much Lin Gongzi has comprehended? Lin Xian said with a smile. You will know when the time comes. He wouldn't reveal his trump card in advance. Stop being so cocky. The moon-gazing wordless steel is so difficult. How can you comprehend it in just a few months? Even if I give you 100 years, you will only be a beginner. You won't be able to comprehend it now. Don't worry, you are definitely not my brother's match. Qing Wu said angrily as she waved her little fists. Is that so? Do you dare to make a bet with me? Lin Xian looked at her and said with a smile. Hearing this, Qing Wu's little face fell. She was very unhappy. Last time, the other party used her as a bet. Although he won in the end, Qing Wu lost many good things. There were several king herbs and mutated divine crystals. Every time Qing Wu thought about it, she would go crazy with anger. Brother, he always bullies me. When I see him later, I will beat him up. She grabbed the North Demon's clothes and said coquettishly. Big brother Lin Xian. In the distance, Xin Jingqiu also ran over and threw herself into Lin Xian's arms. I missed you so much. Aren't I here now? Ling Xian said with a smile. How is your cultivation? How confident are you this time? Don't worry, big brother Lin Xian. Qiu'er is very confident this time. Everyone was discussing. Above the clouds, the elders took a deep breath because they knew that the competition was about to begin. In the most central area, a group of people walked out. Every one of them was incomparably powerful and carried endless laws. When these people appeared, the wind and clouds changed. The sound of the 8 desolates disappeared and everyone looked over. Lin Xian also turned his head and took a deep breath. He clenched his fists, and there was a trace of excitement in his eyes. Has the sage come out? These people were the peak masters of the 4 peaks. In addition, there were the top experts of the extraordinary warrior manor, the supreme elders, and even the manor master. These people were the true peerless experts. The manor master of the extraordinary warrior manor was an old man. His face was white and he had a sage-like demeanor. There was a mysterious aura around his body. Even the peak masters of the 4 peaks were standing behind him. One could imagine how terrifying the manor master's strength was. Behind him were the peak masters of the 4 peaks. Each of them had divine chains of laws on their bodies. They were incomparably powerful. Around them were a group of elders. There were men and women, old and young. However, without exception, they were all peerless experts. Chapter 3079. The mansion master's gaze swept across all directions. Everyone felt their hearts tremble as if they had been pierced through. However, that feeling quickly disappeared. An old and loud voice sounded from the front. Since everyone is here, let's begin. Every competition held by the House of Prodigy is to encourage and select geniuses. This time, I hope you will give it your all. If you win, the House of Prodigy will not treat you unfairly. Now, let's begin. Following the mansion master's voice, everyone cheered again. The 4 peak masters looked at each other and flew into the sky. They landed in their respective areas and sat cross-legged on the clouds. The mansion master and the elders also sat in the center of the clouds. At that moment, a middle-aged man walked out. He had a high status and was one of the deputy mansion masters. This time, he was the host of the competition. As soon as he came up, he announced some rules and rewards. With different rankings, the rewards were also different. It was roughly divided into 3 levels. Top 3, top 10, and after the top 10. The rewards for the top 3 were the best. Other than various treasures and resources, they could go to the saint's former residence to comprehend. Once the news was out, those prodigies were extremely excited. At their level, other than increasing their cultivation, they were basically considering to reach the saint realm. To reach the saint realm, one must first comprehend the heaven and earth. However, the laws of heaven and earth were not that easy to comprehend. Other than some top prodigies who were qualified to comprehend the divine monument, the others did not have much chance. Moreover, even if they had the chance, it would be difficult for them to comprehend at their current level. But now, if they could go to the saint's former residence to comprehend, it would definitely be beneficial for them to comprehend the laws of heaven and earth. Therefore, even Lin Xian was excited after hearing that. The reward for the first place was even more tempting. Other than going to the saint's former residence, one could also go to the Cliff of Enlightenment. The Cliff of Enlightenment was a very magical place. It was said that at least 10 saints had comprehended there before. Most importantly, rumors had it that a martial monarch had stayed there for a day before leaving. Even if a great emperor stayed there for a day, its value was far above the saint's former residence. It could be said that the Cliff of Enlightenment was the true holy land of martial arts. Therefore, when they heard about the reward for the first place, everyone was as if they had been injected with chicken blood. Those elders' eyes were also red. God, the House of Prodigy even took out the Cliff of Enlightenment as a reward? That was really generous. From the looks of it, they wanted to increase the speed of entering the ancient starry sky path. The elders discussed spiritedly while the geniuses screamed excitedly. The eyes of the northern beast, Yu Linglong, Han Fei, Jun Wuyao, Huangfu Beitian, and the others widened. Shui Jiyu, Mo Tian, Black Demon, and the others were trembling with excitement. Was the Enlightenment Cliff finally going to open? The North Demon's eyes shone with a cold light. He had heard of this place a long time ago, but he never had the chance to go in. He did not expect that this time, the Prodigy Manor actually gave out such a reward. This was great, he could finally enter the Cliff of Enlightenment. The North Demon was very confident. In his opinion, although these people were geniuses, none of them could defeat him. In the end, the first place was still his. Yu Linglong and Han Fei's eyes flickered with a cold light. They were already in the second and third year. If they were to try their luck now, they might really be able to get first place. When the time came, he would go to the Enlightenment Cliff to meditate. If he could really comprehend a thing or two, then he would really soar to the heavens. Shui Jiyue, Mo Tian, and the others knew that they had no hope of getting first place. However, they were extremely interested in the top 3. Although they could not go to the Enlightenment Cliff, it would be great if they could go to the sage's old residence. Everyone had confirmed their target. Lin Xian's side was also alarmed. The Enlightenment Cliff, the place where the great emperor once stayed? He was too excited. The sage's old residence had already shocked him. After all, he had gained a lot in the past few months. He naturally knew how precious the sage's remains were. He did not expect that there would be a great emperor's remains. This was 10 times or even 100 times more precious than the sage's remains. He must comprehend it. First place? Lin Xian's eyes shone with a cold light. North Demon, let me see what you're capable of. The rules of the competition were simple. They would draw lots and the competition would be divided into several rounds. Not everyone would fight. There would be a certain amount of luck involved. Perhaps some who were not the strongest could still make it to the finals. It seemed a little unfair, but it was the fairest. After all, there were many experts in the world. However, only one person could become the great emperor in the end. Other than talent, luck was also very important. In fact, possession was also an important factor. Back then, there was a person who shocked the ancients and dazzled the contemporaries. He was extremely powerful and had reached an unbelievable level. He was most likely to become the great emperor. However, he was born at the wrong time. When he rose, it was when the great emperor had lost 3,000 years. At that time, he could not prove his Tao. In the end, the person who shocked the ancients and dazzled the contemporaries did not become the great emperor. Therefore, luck was also a part of strength. A very important part. The 40 geniuses participating in the competition quickly drew their lots. Those who drew the same number would become opponents and fight in the arena. I'm number 1. Qing Wu exclaimed. What, Qing Wu is number 1? Could it be that she's going to fight? Hearing this, the surrounding elders of the heavenly sect began to discuss. Those young men seemed to have been injected with chicken blood. Was Qing Wu going to take action? She's my goddess! Goddess Qing Wu, You must win! You must make it to the finals! That's for sure! Goddess Qing Wu is the great beauty of our House of Wonders. Moreover, her brother is the North Demon. Qing Wu is very talented and has the power of bloodline. Her strength is definitely not bad. Moreover, no matter who she encounters in the first round, she has to give face to the North Demon. Don't worry, Qing Wu will definitely have no problems in this round. Everyone had the same thought. At the same time, they were very curious about who would be the first person to fight Qing Wu. Qing Wu's small face was excited. Her beautiful big eyes were shining. She could not wait any longer. She went directly to the arena. Hurry up, my opponent, come on! Everyone lowered their heads. Those who were ranked at the bottom prayed in their hearts that they would not fight Qing Wu. That was because Qing Wu would definitely win this round. Fortunately, the number in their hands was not number 1. Huangfu Beitian, Heimo, Jun Wuya, and the others also looked and found that they were not number 1 either. Just as everyone was checking, a figure walked past them and walked towards the battle platform. This scene directly attracted the attention of the others. Countless eyes looked at the figure. What? It's him! Many people screamed. Chapter 3080. Heimo snorted and sneered. Shui Jiyu narrowed her eyes. Interesting. This is going to be fun. Damn you, why is it you? No, this draw doesn't count. We have to do it again. On the stage, Qing Wu was originally very happy. However, when she saw her opponent, her little face fell and she was about to cry. Heavens, why is it him? Is my luck that bad? Lin Xian, you bastard. Hurry up and get back to where you came from. Qing Wu stomped her feet in anger. That's right, her first opponent was Lin Xian. To be honest, Lin Xian was also surprised. He didn't expect that he would have to fight with this little girl in the first round. He shook his head and didn't care. Instead, he walked onto the stage. The others were excited. It's Lin Xian. The first round is actually him. This is going to be fun. Do you think Lin Xian will go easy on him in the first round? Give the North Demon some face? When the time came for him to fight the North Demon might go easy on him. It's possible. Not only Lin Xian, almost everyone had to give the North Demon some face. After all, he was the number 1 in the House of Prodigy. Who would dare to disobey? However, Qing Wu didn't think so. Because she felt that this guy would definitely not give her face. She knew Lin Xian very well. Sure enough, Lin Xian said, I don't want to hurt you. Why don't you take the initiative to admit defeat? When those words were said, everyone was in an uproar. The corners of the elders' mouths twitched. Oh my heavens, what did I just hear? Lin Xian actually wants Qing Wu to admit defeat. He doesn't plan to give the North Demon some face? He's going to cause trouble. Is he provoking the North Demon? Exclamations sounded one after another. The people of the Full Moon Peak were extremely nervous. When Yu Linglong saw this scene, she glanced at the North Demon and laughed softly. Looks like someone doesn't want to give you face. What's this kid doing? He's courting death. Amo Tian also frowned. The North Demon was incomparably calm. All of this was within his expectations. Lin Xian was no ordinary prodigy. He was a top prodigy who had comprehended the Moongazer steel and was the successor of the Great Dragon. Such peerless geniuses all had their own pride. How could they take the initiative to go easy on him? However, he was not worried. He was still very confident in his sister. It would not be easy for Lin Xian to win against his sister. You brat, you're so arrogant. You want me to admit defeat? No way. In the arena, Qing Wuqi's face was ice cold. This despicable fellow, she really wanted to go up and bite him. You are no match for me. Lin Xian shook his head. It was indeed so. A few months ago, he could easily defeat Qing Wu. Not to mention now, his strength had greatly improved. Qing Wu shouted. Boy, don't underestimate me. My current strength is much stronger than it was a few months ago. Today, I'll let you experience it. 1. Qing Wu's temperament also changed. 2 lightning-like rays of light shot out from her beautiful eyes, shattering the surrounding sky. The aura on her body became terrifying. Everyone sucked in a breath of cold air. They knew that this beautiful girl was not simple. She was a true prodigy. Whoosh! Qing Wu's figure changed, and her speed was unbelievably fast. She quickly rushed toward Lin Xian. A short sword appeared in her hand. It was as red as blood, and she slashed down in the air. A bloody light burst out, bringing with it a powerful aura, shattering the void. In an instant, thousands of sword lights were slashed out. They were densely packed, forming a sea of sword qi. However, Qing Wu's little face was incomparably cold. She did not relax at all. That was because Lin Xian's speed was even faster. His figure wandered in the sky full of sword qi as if he was taking a stroll. Not a single sword qi hit him. Damn guy, what's the point of dodging? Attack if you have the ability. Qing Wu snorted, and the aura in her hand became even sharper. Lin Xian sighed. All right, then I won't be polite. Speaking of this, the aura on his body also changed. The originally fluctuating void was even more shattered. He was like a celestial demon. His eyes emitted a piercing light, and runes appeared in his hand one after another. Seal! With a low shout, Lin Xian waved his arm. The runes in the sky intertwined to form a formation, and directly shrouded Qing Wu. Buzz! Qing Wu was fixed in midair. She could not exert any strength, as if she was frozen. Damn guy, what did you do to me? Qing Wu screamed. Lin Xian did not say a word. With a smile, he walked forward. Then, he gently picked up Qing Wu and walked to a place further away. This scene made everyone exclaim. Many prodigies even screamed. Damn guy, let go of Qing Wu. Let go of our goddess. How dare you blaspheme our goddess? I'll fight you to the death. There was no choice. Qing Wu was the goddess in the hearts of these prodigies. She was the lover of their dreams, but she was carried away by someone. How could they tolerate this? Even Mo Tian and the rest frowned. Jun Wuya even shouted coldly. His eyes emitted a piercing light. You're courting death. He was also pursuing Qing Wu, but he had not succeeded. However, Jun Wuya thought that in the entire extraordinary warrior mansion, except for Northern Yao, he did not care about anyone else. Northern Yao was Qing Wu's brother, so he would not compete with him. In other words, Qing Wu would choose him if she had a choice. But now, Qing Wu was being carried by another man. Jun Wuya could not tolerate this. Even Northern Yao frowned slightly with a look of surprise. Then, he shook his head. He already knew what Lin Xian wanted to do. However, he was surprised. Did Qing Wu have no strength to resist? Qing Wu naturally knew this. She screamed, Damn guy, let go of me. I want to fight you to the death. It's useless. You can't beat me. Seeing that we fought side by side against the Heavenly Clouds mansion a few months ago, I won't hurt you. Lin Xian said as he walked toward the arena. He wanted to throw Qing Wu out of the arena. This way, he could win the competition without hurting Qing Wu. Qing Wu was naturally unwilling. She did not get along with Lin Xian. Now that she was being carried by him, she wanted to die. As a proud princess, when had she ever been close to other men? Not to mention being carried in public. Break! Qing Wu shouted coldly. She used her bloodline power and broke the seal with a powerful force. However, she found that she could not use her bloodline power at all. She could only watch helplessly. Not long after, Lin Xian came to the edge of the arena and gently put Qing Wu down. Then, he turned his head to look at the referee elder in the sky and asked in a deep voice. Elder, can you announce the result? The referee elder in the sky was also stunned. To be honest, he had lived for so many years, but he had never seen such a competition. However, as an old monster who had lived for thousands of years, he quickly recovered and said loudly, The winner of the first round is Lin Xian of the Full Moon Peak. Chapter 3081. Lin Xian won the first round and got off to a good start. Logically speaking, the people of Full Moon Peak should be excited. However, those geniuses of Full Moon Peak had very strange expressions. Many of their faces even darkened. Although Lin Xian is our Full Moon Peak's genius, why do I want to beat him up so much? Me too, how dare he treat my goddess Qingwu like this? I won't let him off. If Full Moon Peak was like this, the other peaks were even more so. Especially the people of Ethereal Peak, they were about to go crazy. Murderous auras soared into the sky. Countless gazes turned into rainbows, staring at Lin Xian. Damn kid, I'll kill you! I'll definitely kill you! Fight me if you have the ability! Countless roars turned into thunder, shattering the 9 heavens and 10 earths. Lin Xian didn't care at all because these people weren't his match. They didn't even have the qualifications to enter the arena. However, in the next moment, he frowned. He noticed that there were a few cold gazes in the surrounding crowd. One of them was even more terrifying, as if it had turned into the domineering aura of heaven and earth, surging towards him. Lin Xian felt this domineering aura and turned his head. Their gazes collided in the air. Jun Wuya. He frowned slightly. Although he hadn't seen him before, he had heard of him before. Jun Wuya cultivated the domineering aura of heaven and earth, and walked the path of an earth sovereign. This guy should be a prince of the Divine Wind Empire. He also knew a little about Jun Wuya's origin. Of course, Jun Wuya wasn't a prince of this generation. Otherwise, Lin Xian would have known him long ago. He should be a prince from a few hundred years ago. Kid, I won't let you off. You'd better pray that you don't meet me. Otherwise, I'll make you regret everything you've done today. Jun Wuya's voice was cold, as if he was the king of the mortal world, able to judge everything. Lin Xian shrugged indifferently. He was ready to learn. After saying this, he walked down the arena. Yi Fei, Xue Ling, and the rest looked at Lin Xian with strange gazes. Only Xin Jingqiu smiled and said, Brother Lin Xian is so gentle. Gentle? Everyone was dumbfounded by Xin Jingqiu's words. The first match ended just like that. But soon, the second and third matches began one after another. Everyone stepped onto the stage and displayed their formidable strength. Lin Xian was also watching from the side. It had to be said that these few months of hard work had allowed the strength of these geniuses to improve by leaps and bounds. Many of them had become even stronger than before. The Northern Goblin went up. Amidst a series of exclamations, the Northern Goblin walked forward. His opponent, however, had a gloomy look on his face. He was a genius from the Divine Strategy Peak and was ranked 5th on the Divine Strategy Peak. However, he was no match for the North Demon. Therefore, when he stepped into the arena, he shook his head and said, I admit defeat. The speed at which this match ended was even faster than Lin Xian and Qingwu. Did he admit defeat? Everyone looked as if they already knew. After all, apart from Yu Linglong, Han Fei, and a few others who could contend against the North Demon, the others were simply no match for him. Admitting defeat was a very normal thing. Han Fei shook his head. His opponent was too weak. He couldn't tell how strong the Northern Demon was. Perhaps only the top 5 geniuses could make the Northern Demon take them seriously. Yu Linglong, who was standing at the side, also sighed. Soon, they all stepped onto the stage. Yu Linglong and Han Fei were also incomparably powerful. They killed their opponents in one move. Jun Wuya and Huangfu Beitian also killed their opponents in one move. This caused everyone to exclaim in surprise. As expected of the top 5 geniuses, they were simply too powerful. The top 3 would most likely emerge from these 5 geniuses. Boom! 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 On the arena, a demon-like person walked up. His demonic aura was monstrous and enveloped the entire area. It was the Black Demon. His opponent was also extremely extraordinary. He was the 3rd-ranked genius of the Divine Strategy Peak, Cui Shi. When the two of them entered the arena, countless people exclaimed in surprise. Both of them were super experts. It would definitely be a fierce battle for them to meet in advance. Everyone became excited. However, the outcome of the battle was beyond everyone's expectations. 10 moves, only 10 moves! The Black Demon defeated Shui Shi in just 10 moves. Everyone was shocked. The elders were also surprised. This Black Demon was incredible. His strength had increased so quickly. That's right. Last time, Shui Shi's ranking was similar to his. Even if the two of them were to fight, it would take a few hundred moves. Who would have thought that the Black Demon would win in just 10 moves? This guy must have encountered an incredible fortuitous encounter when he fell into the abyss. What an interesting guy. No wonder he was so arrogant. Shui Jiu sneered. Mo Tian's expression was solemn. On the other side, a girl named Chu Ling's eyes flickered. She was the third-ranked genius of the ethereal peak. The three of them felt the threat from the Black Demon. Han Fei, Jun Wuya, Yuling Long, and the rest did not care. Although the Black Demon was strong, they did not put him in their eyes. After defeating his opponent, the Black Demon stopped Lin Xian and Huangfu Beitian, who were below the arena. He sneered. Brat, just you wait. I will let you know how powerful I am. This time, I will trample you under my feet. You are no match for me. Lin Xian shook his head slightly. He did not care. This scene made the Black Demon vomit blood. Don't be so arrogant. I will let you know how powerful I am. He walked down the arena with a cold face. After that, Shui Jiyue, Mo Tian, and the rest also displayed their powerful strength. They were not weaker than the Black Demon. Among them, there were two people who surprised everyone. Just like Lin Xian, the two of them were newcomers, and both of them were peerless beauties. One of them was Xinjingqiu. Xinjingqiu was now at Linglong Peak. She had also participated in this competition. Her strength had increased very quickly. The purple aura around her body was very hazy and mysterious. She defeated her opponent, causing countless people to exclaim in surprise. The elders were also surprised. If I remember correctly, this little girl should be a spiritual body, right? Not bad. No wonder her strength increased so quickly. She has reached the peak, right? The Grand Elder was also surprised. When everyone sensed Xinjingqiu's cultivation, they were all stunned. 9-star peak. This level of cultivation was simply too shocking. One had to know that the North Demon, Han Fei, and the others were only at the peak of the 9-star peak. They were still a distance away from the peak. However, Xinjingqiu had reached the peak of the 9-star peak. Moreover, she was so young. Lin Xian was also surprised. He had not checked it before. Now that he saw it, he was extremely surprised. He was only at the mid-stage of the 9-star peak, but Xinjingqiu's cultivation had far surpassed his. Beside him, the Crimson Dragon said, Brat, don't be surprised. The characteristic of a spiritual body is that it cultivates quickly. Previously, this little girl's cultivation had always been ahead of the other prodigies. It could be said that she was the first batch to become a 9-star king. Now that she has reached the peak of the 9-star peak, it is very normal. The others were amazed and envious. Although cultivation was not the final factor that determined a person's strength, it was the most important factor. The higher one's cultivation was, the more powerful one would be. Chapter 3082. Of course, that might not be the case. After all, secret techniques, divine abilities, bloodlines, fortuitous encounters, cultivation techniques, weapons, and so on could all affect one's final combat strength. Otherwise, Lin Xian and the others wouldn't have been able to kill a 9-star king when they were only 8-star kings. Therefore, although Xinjingqiu was now a perfected 9-star king, she was still no match for the North Demon. However, that might not be the case in the future. If Xinjingqiu broke through to half-saint or saint in advance, she would be able to crush these prodigies with the suppression of her cultivation realm. At the thought of this, everyone felt their scalps go numb. They didn't expect Xinjingqiu to have such terrifying potential. The eyes of the 4 peak masters flickered. The supreme elders were also discussing in low voices. Even the mansion master was a little interested. It was indeed a golden age. The divine nine-yang body, myriad demon body, and spirit body had all appeared. They wondered if this little girl would be able to meet someone from the spirit tribe in the future. If she could, her achievements would be limitless. Perhaps she could obtain that item. At this point, the old mansion master's eyes flashed with an illusory star. Apart from Shinjinxiu, there was another young woman who attracted everyone's attention. Even Lin Xian was paying close attention. The woman in the arena was called Zhonglingxiu. She was a newcomer of the Moongaze Peak. Zhonglingxiu was dressed in plain clothes. Beside her was a green lotus that swayed gently. The violent power made her opponent vomit blood. This woman was so mysterious. They couldn't see through her. Han Fei frowned. Yu Linglong also nodded. Interesting. It was getting more and more interesting. The North Demon's eyes were also solemn, as if he wanted to see through everything. The elders were also surprised. Could the green lotus be related to that item? They thought of a possibility, but they soon shook their heads. The four Peak Masters were also shocked. The Moongaze Peak Master was especially happy. He didn't expect there to be such a prodigy apart from Lin Xian. In the past, Zhonglingxiu was only ranked 10th. Although she was stunning, Lin Xian was ahead of her. Moreover, she didn't have the chance to comprehend the Moongaze wordless steel. Therefore, although everyone was shocked, they soon forgot about it. But now, Zhonglingxiu had once again displayed her powerful strength, directly attracting everyone's attention. Mansion Master, is the green lotus related to that item? Related to that person? A Grand Elder asked from the side. The Mansion Lord's eyes flickered and he shook his head slightly. That didn't seem to be the case. However, he remembered that it was something else. If that was the case, then the ancient path of the starry sky would be really interesting. At that time, it would definitely be very exciting. Hearing the Valley Master's words, the surrounding Grand Elders were all astonished. What could be praised by the Valley Master like this? Could it be even more terrifying than the Dragon Sword Soul, the spiritual body, the holy body, and the infinite demon body? One had to know that these physiques were all famous peerless physiques in the ancient times. Once they were mastered, they could sweep through the world and shock the world. If it really was her, then she would definitely pose a threat to Lin Xian, the North Demon, and the others. Perhaps in the future, he would be able to suppress Lin Xian, the Northern Demon, and the others. Even the top experts and geniuses on the ancient path of stars who had passed many trials would have a headache, let alone these young fellows. In fact, they might even be overtaken by the geniuses. The Mansion Lord's words shocked everyone. Many of the Grand Elders could not believe that Zhonglingxiu had such potential. The intense battles made everyone's blood boil. Lin Xian fought a few times and entered the finals. Shinjinxiu, Zhonglingxiu, Mo, and the others also entered the finals. The top geniuses of the Four Peaks also entered the finals. After that, everyone became even more excited. Although the first few rounds were exciting, the top geniuses like the North Demon and Yu Linglong did not use their full strength at all. They usually defeated their opponents with a single move. It was not enough for them to watch. In the finals, the top geniuses would also fight. At that time, it would be a truly exciting battle. The finals were still drawn. Lin Xian still drew lot number 1. First up? Lin Xian narrowed his eyes and came to the arena. I wonder who my opponent is. Kid, I didn't expect it to be you. The heavens are really helping me. How dare you bully Qing Wu? I'll teach you a good lesson later. A majestic voice sounded. Then, a domineering figure walked up. Jun Wuya. The first battle was between Lin Xian and Jun Wuya. The surrounding people screamed like crazy. Even many of the Grand Elders stood up, their faces filled with excitement. Although they knew that the finals would be exciting, they did not expect it to be so intense. Right off the bat, the two top geniuses were exchanging blows with one another. Lin Xian, second place of the moon-gazing peak, comprehended the moon-gazing wordless steel. He was a once-in-10,000 years genius. Jun Wuya was equally terrifying. He was ranked 4th in the House of Prodigy. He was ranked higher than Huangfu Beitian. His domineering aura was terrifying. Recently, it was said that he had a new breakthrough while comprehending the ethereal steel. They were the top geniuses. Everyone was looking forward to the battle between the two geniuses. Even the peak masters of the 4 peaks and the supreme elders were looking forward to it. Were they going to fight in advance? They wanted to see what this kid was capable of. The North Demon's eyes flashed. Previously, he was also a little angry about Qing Wu's matter. However, compared to anger, he was more shocked. He knew Qing Wu's strength very well. However, he found it unbelievable that Lin Xian could seal Qing Wu so easily. In the previous rounds, Lin Xian defeated his opponents easily. He did not show his true strength, so the Northern Demon could not see it clearly. However, now that he was fighting Jun Wuya, he should be able to see his full strength. Let me see just how much strength you, the descendant of the Great Dragon, have. The Northern Demon was looking forward to it. Yu Linglong, Han Fei, and the others were also watching with rapt attention. What? You want to stand up for Qing Wu? Let's see if you have the ability. Lin Xian was not afraid. He knew that his opponent was ranked 4th and was very strong. So what? He was not afraid of him. Good kid, you are arrogant enough. Try taking my fist. Jun Wuya shouted angrily and waved his fist. His body surged with a domineering aura. Sky Tyrant Fist. It seemed that Jun Wuya was really angry. He immediately used the Sky Tyrant Fist. This was a half-step Saint martial art. Its strength was terrifying. Indeed, the moment the Sky Tyrant Fist appeared, lightning fell between heaven and earth. Everyone's body trembled. Fortunately, at that moment, they were inside the formation and watching from the clouds. Otherwise, just the aftermath of the energy would be enough to injure them. Sky Tyrant Fist? Half-step Saint martial art. Lin Xian narrowed his eyes. He waved his hand and the fire Qilin sword appeared in the sky. He held it and slashed it down. Chapter 3083. Between heaven and earth, a sword light flashed, splitting apart all the lightning and destroying the terrifying fist. The domineering aura was strong, but it wasn't powerful enough. Lin Xian commented indifferently. How arrogant! How can you understand my fist technique? Sky Tyrant Fist's second move. Jun Wuya's face sank as he attacked again. One had to admit that Jun Wuya was extremely terrifying. His strength had already reached the late-stage 9-star king realm. Coupled with his half-saint martial arts, it was terrifying to the extreme. In the entire extraordinary warrior manor, there were probably only a few people who could defeat him. The monstrous power engulfed Lin Xian. Countless people exclaimed. The martial artists of the Full Moon Peak were extremely nervous. Jun Wuya was indeed extraordinary. He had reached such a level with the Sky Tyrant Fist. That's right. This domineering aura could make one's soul tremble before the battle even started. Without exchanging blows, his aura had already overwhelmed the enemy. Although Lin Xian had destroyed the first move of the Sky Tyrant Fist, the second move and the next few moves would be difficult to deal with. Not necessarily. This kid's strength was pretty good. He must have a trump card. Everyone was discussing. In front of them, among the energy in the sky, a golden light flashed and turned into a golden thunderbolt, destroying heaven and earth. Puff! 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 Sword Chi formed a golden lotus that bloomed in the sky, breaking the energy in the sky. I've said it before? It's not powerful enough. Lin Xian pointed his sword forward. With a swing of his sword, the sword lotus in the sky quickly expanded and turned into a huge mountain that shrouded the ground. Thousands of sword chi smashed down, piercing through the void and forming a sword rain that completely enveloped Jun Wuya. Get lost! Jun Wuya opened the sky with both hands like a peerless overlord, wanting to tear the sword lotus in the sky apart. Boom! 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 His palm was like the palm of a god. In an instant, he grabbed the terrifying sword lotus and pulled it with force. The sword lotus shook violently, but the sword chi that fell down was even more terrifying. Clang! 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 The sword chi in the sky crashed down. Jun Wuya's domineering aura formed a battle armor that enveloped him. The sword chi collided with the battle armor, creating a shocking sound. It's useless. You can't break my domineering aura. Jun Wuya was very confident. But soon, he frowned, and his expression turned ugly. The sword lotus had completely bloomed, and the power of the sword chi had increased exponentially. Cracks had appeared on his domineering battle armor, and it had shattered with a loud bang. Whoosh! In the face of such a terrifying sword chi, Jun Wuya took half a step back and tilted his body, wanting to dodge. However, this sword strike had still managed to cut off a strand of his black hair. In fact, there was even a sword scar on his face. Jun Wuya was injured. Countless people screamed in disbelief. Jun Wuya's body was trembling, and his eyes were burning with rage. How dare you injure me? You have committed a heinous crime. I will let you know my true strength. With a shout, Jun Wuya's aura became terrifying. Sovereign's descent. Surrender! The divine light in his eyes shone brightly, enveloping the entire world. His voice was loud and clear, like the roar of a gigantic spirit god. All the geniuses in the surroundings trembled. Even the faces of the elders changed. Then, a terrifying light gushed out from their bodies. As for those geniuses, they shrieked. Damn it! Why can't I resist the urge to kneel down and kowtow to him? Even my soul is trembling. What kind of cultivation technique is this? Why is it so strange? The expressions of the people around the arena changed drastically. Their bodies trembled, and they couldn't help but want to kneel down and kowtow. Many people bit the tip of their tongues and frantically retreated. Even Yu Linglong and Han Fei were shocked. The only one who could still be considered calm was the Northern Devil. As expected, this kid had made new progress in comprehending the Great Tao. The Northern Devil smiled. He's already using this power at this time? It seems that Jun Wuya wants to end the battle. Yu Linglong and Han Fei's eyes flickered, and their expressions were solemn. When the others heard this, their expressions changed drastically. The path of dominance? That was Jun Wuya's trump card. If he used it so quickly, would Lin Xian be able to resist it? There were 3,000 great Das, and countless laws. The path of dominance was one of them. Once the path of dominance was used, it was like a supreme king. Everyone would bow down to him. They wouldn't dare to resist. Although Jun Wuya hadn't truly comprehended the Great Tao, his power far exceeded the power of ordinary runes. Therefore, at this moment, under his power, these geniuses all trembled. Lin Xian was the first to be affected. He felt a force pressing down on him, wanting to make him submit to the person in front of him. That force was too powerful. It was like a god's hand pressing down on his body. Is this the power that's close to the Tao? Lin Xian's eyes shone with golden light. He also had this kind of power, but he had never felt it before. Now that he felt the other party's domineering power, he was incomparably excited. Submit! Another cold shout. Countless people's souls trembled, and their eyelids twitched. Lin Xian's side was also under greater pressure. The power that was close to the Tao was too mysterious and too powerful. Zhou Yang's body emitted millions of rays of light, but he also trembled slightly. This wasn't a direct attack, but a different kind of submission. It was a supreme will that directly affected the soul. It's over, Lin Xian is in danger. Yes, this was a power that was close to the Tao. In the entire elite scholar manor, there were no more than 5 young people who had this kind of power. Jun Wuya was one of them. Under this kind of power that was close to the Tao, no one could resist, unless Lin Xian also displayed that kind of power. Impossible! Although Jun Wuya was a young genius, he was also a few hundred years old. He had been comprehending the ethereal heavenly steel for a long time, and only then did he comprehend that trace of domineering Tao and obtain this kind of power that was close to the Tao. Although Lin Xian had also comprehended the full moon were the steel, it had only been a few months. It was impossible for him to succeed. Yes, I heard that he used a power that was close to the Tao to defeat the Poison King, but I didn't believe it at all. Everyone was discussing intensely, and the elders were also nervous. On the full moon peak side, the great elder's eyes flickered. If you have a power that's close to the Tao, hurry up and use it, he urged in his heart. On the stage, Jun Wuya's divine light shone brightly. He stood with his hands behind his back, like a supreme king overlooking everything. Lin Xian's body emitted golden light, like a sun-war god, but he trembled slightly, as if he would be defeated at any time. This scene caused countless people to be shocked. However, suddenly, Lin Xian's gaze changed. It became sharper and more determined. A loud voice sounded from his mouth. I, Lin Xian, will not bow to the heavens, nor kneel to the earth. I will only respect myself. Accompanying this voice, the dragon roared in his body. His eyes shone brightly, and his body stopped trembling. Rays of sword chi rushed out from his body, turning into a giant dragon that rushed to the 9 heavens. Boom! 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 Heaven and earth were torn apart, and the wind whistled. Everyone exclaimed, and the elders also stood up, shocked. He actually blocked it. You're tuning into the Phoenix Knights YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.